Drawn out. Hide the Deathclaw counter. This is his video, Bethesda is not Rockstar. Or Bethesda thinks they're Rockstar, excuse me. And I didn't particularly think it was that good in the first few minutes, and we'll see how it goes.
Fallout 1, released in 1997.
Jasmine, show our drooling friend the door, please.
You all know it, we're not going to spend much time talking about it. Fallout 2, released in 1998, a year apart. Tactics came out in 2001. Little spin-off game, a lot of people liked it, some people didn't. Then nothing. Nothing for a long time.
Nothing really to say here. Okay, this is fair. Brotherhood of Steel is not good, but honestly it's not great. If it was 2004 and you had a weekend, they got that as a rental, it'd probably be fine.
There was at least one man who really wanted something.
I actually made this logo for the post-apocalyptic game. It was called Apocalypse Road. And they said, well, you want Fallout. Yeah, but that's, we don't have that. Somebody here knew someone at Interplay. We might be able to acquire it. I can remember it vividly, just a sticky note on my
Don't claim me. This is him claiming another video in his video, and there's Chess Club alumni Todd Howard, yes.
2008. This is the intro to the franchise to a lot of people,
right,
including me. This game has a lot of flaws, but is also really good, I think.
No, it's not. I won't hurt you too much for that. I won't get on you for too much. Fallout 3 is not very good. Fallout 3 is not very good. Yeah.
It's cool. So this gap between Fallout 2 and Fallout 3 was 10 years. Tactics doesn't really count. It's kind of a spin-off game. It's not really the same thing as what Fallout 1 and 2 were. And Fallout 3
has a lot of diehards. It does. It does have a lot of diehards. I'm going to be honest. I think a lot of the people have nostalgia for it, and I think it's two things. I think it's one, it might have been their first Fallout game. It got them at like a good time, like when they were young. Like it was it was either like a grade school or high school game for them, and so they have nostalgia for it. And I'm gonna say another one. A lot of people who were like, "Oh yeah, Fallout 3 was good." When was the last time you played Fallout 3? 2010. Like that's another thing. It's a case of they haven't actually played it for a very long time, and they're going off of memories from a decade ago.
3 is. These are the things people really care about. The numbered entries that signify something big is here. Now, that said, Fallout New Vegas is basically one of these games. Doesn't have a number, but it's better.
This is brilliant.
Okay, so the thing is that like Fallout New Vegas is still a spin-off, technically. Like it's not a numbered sequel. It's a spin-off.
But I like this.
This released in 2010.
Not a big deal.
2 years after Fallout 3. Not bad. It was a good time to be a Fallout gamer. So keeping all of that in mind, we are going to talk about Fallout 4, released in 2015. Fallout 4 did one big thing for Bethesda on launch and made them a lot of money. This was before Bethesda released Skyrim 19 different times.
Fair. They're still going to be released. Okay, I don't need to see this.
Sucked. People did 2018. Came Fallout 76. Released in 2018. This game sucked. People did not like this game.
Yes.
This has been talked about so many different times in so many different videos that I really
that's fair. We don't have to relitigate Nuve 76.
This number right here. The last one of these came out in 2015. It is 2026. Fallout 5, not even fucking close.
Yeah, probably.
2033 maybe at my best guess. And actually that's even kind of a hopeful guess, to be honest. So just real quick, these two numbers have this big of a gap between them. The previous biggest gap between main series releases was 98 to 2008.
Okay, well, so the thing is that that's an okay, well, you don't know when Fallout 5 is coming out. It might come out earlier. It might come out earlier because of this thing called the Fallout television show. And secondly, the 1998 to 2008, there was a big thing that happened, which is, Interplay went bust. They bought Fallout off of Interplay. It was made by a new developer. It's not like it took 10 years to make Fallout 3.
So that was 10 years between releases, which is a long time. And during that time, one man was pretty salty about that whole thing. And they acquired the rights to Fallout in 2004, meaning Todd only waited 6 years until he needed to make one. And now he expects us to wait 18 years between releases? It's
okay, but they're making they don't. So they made Fallout 3 and then they made Skyrim, and then they made Fallout 4, and then they just started working on Starfield.
What do you even... And the worst part about it all is that every time this is brought up to his face, he says, oh, well, you got Fallout 76. Todd, that's not enough. But again, this has been ranted about a million times by a bunch of people way more articulate than me. I'm just trying to point out the raw numbers here because it's staggering when you really think about it. Like, let's look at what Bethesda has done from 2015 to 2023.
So we're starting to get into his point. We're starting to get into his main point.
Some light design work on Fallout 76 because they didn't make that game.
Right.
They outsourced that game.
That was Bethesda Austin that made the game.
Whatever the fuck. Todd and the boys barely touched 76. So what Bethesda did since releasing Fallout 4 for 8 years was make Starfield. They spent 8 years to do some light work on Fallout 76 and make fucking Starfield. More on Starfield in a bit. Let's talk about From Software. What did they do from 2015 to 2023? In 2015...
So we get into an interesting thing, which is his... So he starts talking about how it took 8 years for them to make Starfield. And that was about it. They just worked on Starfield, maybe with a little bit of work on 76, but not much because they weren't doing that. It was Bethesda Austin. He then starts to compare it to other developers, and I feel like when he gets to his point, I don't get what he's trying to bring. Like, what is the point of your point? Because what he has said is not... Like, the numbers he'll give is not, like, necessarily incorrect, but I fail to see what he's trying to say.
They released Bloodborne. In 2016, they released Dark Souls 3 and did DLC in 2017. In 2019, they released Sekiro. In 2022, they released Elden Ring and did DLC. In 2023, they released Armored
that's
Core
not
6.
right. That's not right at all. Elden didn't know. That's not right. Shadow of the Erd Tree came out in 2024. That came out 2 years after that.
And just for the fuck of it, I mean, Bethesda hasn't done anything since they released Starfield, and FromSoft released Elden Ring, Night Rain. Just for the fuck of it. So they've had 6 major releases in the time that Bethesda has,
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. Let me tell you.
So let's just look at it.
Okay, so but like I don't get what your point is. So one developer released 1 game in 8 years, another developer released 5 games in 8 years. What's your point? So what? Okay, well, let's keep going.
Another one. How about Capcom?
He's going to compare Capcom.
They did Street Fighter 5. In 2017, they did Resident Evil 7. 2019, they did the Resident Evil 2 remake.
Also, actually, yes, that's a very, very good point. Counts the DLC from Software, but doesn't count the DLC from Bethesda. That's interesting. Why didn't you count, Far Harbor, Nuka World, even Automations? Why didn't you count that under Bethesda? But that is fair.
Game. In the same year, they also released Devil May Cry 5. 2020 was Resident Evil 3 remake. Not as good, but definitely a fine game. And in 2021, they did Resident Evil Village, which is...
He also missed Monster Hunter World so far? Okay, so... Well,
Resident Evil 8.
Please.
Oh, and in 2023, they released a Resident Evil 4 remake. So this is a fun one. Let's look at Obsidian Entertainment.
Please don't. Okay, so he does this where they shoots Obsidian in the head, or Bethesda in the head with the... I get it.
I don't know why we would be looking at Obsidian Entertainment, but just take a look at them and see what they've done from 2015 to 2023. All of this.
This is incorrect also. That's not right. This actually is really bad for your argument because that is not correct. That is like blatantly not correct. The Outer Worlds came out in 2025. The Outer Worlds came out last year. You can't okay. Might want to double check this stuff.
They did all of this. Tyranny, Pillars.
He has the COVID lockdown sense of time. Yeah, this goes bad because it's like this was you say it like no, it was that came out last year, dude. That came out like what 5-6 months ago. The Outer Worlds 2. Put the Putter Worlds 2. Yeah, that came out at the end of October of last year. That's not a 2023 release.
72, The Outer Worlds, Grounded, Pentiment, The Outer Worlds 2. Just like an actual dev studio.
All right, what is an actual dev studio? Also, where is it's also well, I think Avowed was 2024, so that doesn't count. Yeah, Avowed was 2024, right? Avowed. No, it was supposed to 2025. Oh my god. Right, it was both in 2025. Jesus. So, he says here it's like they put out these games, ignoring the issue with the wrong date, like an actual dev studio. Why does the amount of time or how many things are released over a course of a year, like however many years, like make a dev like a real dev or not?
Pumping out games. Now, I'm not going to say all these games are great. I didn't
Then
play any
I'm not going to say all these games are great.
of these games.
I didn't play any of these games. So like what is the point you're trying to make? Because you're saying they just pumped out like these games could all be shit. Tyranny's pretty good. Pillars of Tyranny, Grounded's fun. Pentiment was very interesting. I quite liked it. I quite enjoyed my time with Pentiment with issues.
But people did. People liked them, and Obsidian is a better company because of it. But how about we?
Okay, that's like actually like okay. So, whoa, 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 whoa.
But people did. People liked them, and Obsidian is a better company because of it.
People like them, and Obsidian is a better company because of it. I would argue no, they're not. They're not. Those games, there was recently a thing where they're not a better company. Their games have been getting consistently bad or consistently worse. It was recent, and they're not selling anywhere near as well because of that. Avowed didn't do very well. In the last couple days, the Outer Worlds 2 sold less than 1 million copies. Like, it's not doing well enough for how much time and money they're putting into these games. So, you know, like they're not a better company because of it.
How about we compare Bethesda to who they really want to be compared to? Rockstar Games. This is who.
Okay, so that is his. Here we go. That is his huge. That is his thing. Bethesda. He believes that Bethesda want to be Rockstar. They want to be compared to Rockstar Games. Now, that is a pretty big thing to state, and you have to substantiate that. You have to substantiate that. You have to give some thing for that.
They think they have the track record of Rockstar. I played GTA 3 and Vice City way before I played any Bethesda game. And GTA 3 and Vice City are infinitely better games than fucking Starfield.
Okay. How long is this video? Just about 15 minutes. 14 minutes and 52 seconds.
So if we look at Rockstar Games and what they've released from 2015 to 2023, it's just Red Dead. It's Red Dead 2. Here, actually, let me show you why you're not Rockstar. Skyrim, Fallout 4, and Starfield.
Okay, so he points out that they released, in that same amount of time, they just released Red Dead Redemption 2.
2023. It's just Red Dead.
And then he goes on.
Here, actually, let me show you why you're not Rockstar.
Here's why Bethesda is not Rockstar. Now, the thing is that you have not substantiated that Bethesda wants to be Rockstar, but you're going to continue now to say that this is why they're not Rockstar.
Skyrim, Fallout 4, and Starfield. These three games combined made about $4 billion. And this is actually being extremely generous. That's a Red Dead. That's just a Red Dead 2. That's
okay. I don't know what your point is, though. What is the point? Those three games made $4 billion, which is one Red Dead Redemption 2. So my question is, so here's the thing, though. Let's say, okay, even if it's not 100% true, the numbers. Let's say that these numbers are accurate. So what? And this is me not like defending Bethesda. I don't think Bethesda is good. I don't know what the point, so here's the thing, is he goes earlier on, he brings up these other developers who have made a bunch of different games in the same time frame. that Bethesda only made Starfield. So my question is, what if those developers didn't make what I don't get it. Like, what is the amount of money and the amount of games that they put out doesn't matter? Because it's not that you don't compare your game to another company's game. You compare your game to your own budget and what you spent to make it. You know what I mean? Like, if you make a game that costs $100 million, let's say in total, every single thing is $100 million, and you make $250 million in sales, you have made a good amount of money. It depends on what what you want, but that's like you've made your money back and then some, quite a bit of some, 1.5 games worth of some. If you spent $500 million and you only made $150 million, well, then you fucked up. You've lost a shit ton of money. So, like, what is the point? Like, it doesn't matter that those 3 games made $4 billion and that's one Red Dead Redemption. How much did it cost to make Skyrim, Fallout 4, and Starfield? And if you say, Lugor, if it's actually $400 million to make Red Dead Redemption 2, they expected a shit ton of return on that. They expected probably at least $1 billion in sales, because that's a shit ton of money to put on it.
It's one Red Dead 2, and isn't it funny that Rockstar Games can release the 4th best-selling video game ever and completely abandon it? No online support, no DLC, nothing. You get nothing. Well, I mean, you get Red Dead 2, which is Red Dead 2. I mean, it's one of the best games ever made, easily. But
I would probably say it's not, but I don't think it's one of the best games ever made. But like, what is your?
That's what Rockstar can do. They can,
like, okay, I think it's interesting. It's like you can abandon it, like no DLC, no support, and it's something that's interesting because a lot of games are like that, past and present. A lot of games do not get more support once the game is released. They might get patches, they might get updates to fix things or to alter things that are broken or whatever, but they don't get new content. Not every game needs DLC, you know what I mean? Yeah, Nintendo doesn't do that with a lot of their games. Like, did Super Mario fucking Odyssey get, how much bonus content did that get? I don't know. How much did it get? I don't remember there being that much, extra. There was never, a DLC or an expansion for it. That's something that, most games do. They just release the game, and that's it.
Make Red Dead 2 the 4th best-selling video game ever, loved by everyone. If they shit out a DLC tomorrow, they would make more money than Bethesda made on Fallout 4. And
okay, but so what? I don't get it. It's weird because it's like you're attacking Bethesda for things that are irrelevant. This is irrelevant. This is not how much money their games made compared to a completely different game. The Red Dead 2 total estimation at best is 2 to 2.5 billion, including online. Skyrim 1.8 confirmed. See, that's the thing, is I knew he got some things wrong from the dates of the games, but if I just Red Dead Redemption 2 sales. Okay, well, that's not sales money, I guess. I don't need the amount of copies. But yeah, that's the thing. And that's the thing, is it's hard to figure, do we know how much money these have made? We can see copies and we can extrapolate from that, but my issue is that I don't get the point. What is the point of comparing these two because of in terms of how much money they made? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that Red Dead Redemption made more money than those games combined, or Fallout 4 or whatever. It matters that Fallout 4 made enough money to cover its development and make a profit. I don't. And then the thing is, so he's still made this assumption that Bethesda wants to be Rockstar, but I've not seen any evidence other than the assertion that Bethesda wants to be Rockstar.
The reason Rockstar can just abandon the 4th best-selling video game ever is because GTA 5 and online has made $10 billion. And they're slated to keep that train moving real soon. And
okay. So they could abandon Red Dead because GTA Online has made this much money. It did not make as much as they liked. Like, and so that's the thing, is that, like, here's the thing, is like, what is... I feel like this is one thing where it's like, you do realize that this is actually like, this is really makes Rockstar look worse and Bethesda look better. Because Rockstar abandoned Red Dead. They didn't, in your words, they abandoned Red Dead Online, or Red Dead, they did Red Dead Online. They didn't release any DLC for the game. And you say the reason why is that GTA 5 and GTA Online made them tons of money, which I don't know which made more. I'm going to assume that online didn't make the lion's share of that. It's probably the fact that GTA Online sold a ton and sold on so many different consoles over the last decade. But GTA Online is infamous for being like microtransaction, like predatory, almost mobile game level, like trying to siphon funds from players by selling digital money for obscene amounts of real-world money. Like, that makes Bethesda look better in some ways, where, oh, they kept supporting their games. Granted, they did break their games. Oh, they keep releasing DLC for their games. Like, you do realize this doesn't... I don't know. Give Rockstar the wank of a lifetime. Yep.
this is the reason.
I still want to see, like, okay, wait, here we go. Wait, he's going to say...
And they're slated to keep that train moving real soon. And this is the reason, Bethesda, that you are not Rockstar. So let's talk about...
What? I don't understand. They're not Rockstar because they don't make as much money off of their games? You have... Okay, and you have not given me any other reason so far why you think Rockstar or Bethesda is trying to be like Rockstar, other than pointing out that in an 8-year span, they only released one game, which is the same thing as Rockstar only releasing one game in an 8-year span. Like, I don't understand how, like, you could probably find plenty of devs who have only released one game in an 8-year span. You know, and plenty of devs who have released many games in an 8-year span. Like, what does that have to do with being like Rockstar? Some games have, some developers can work on multiple projects at once, or they have, like, you know, production lines, if you will, where you have, you know, sort of teams shifting between things, or teams, you know, we're doing game A. Okay, game A is almost done. We're shifting over to team, you know, team B is going to work on, or the team's going to work on game B, and we're going to finish off game A, and then everyone's on to game B. Or, you know, there are companies that, okay, everyone is working on game A, that's it, we're going to work on game A, and it's going to be what we're working on for the next 3 to 4, 5, 6 years, however long it takes. Minecraft is I did look up a Wikipedia page just a second ago to see best-selling video games. Minecraft is number 1 with 350 million sales, according to Wikipedia, which it might as well be fan fiction. Who knows if it's real or not? But that's what they say. Minecraft, GTA 5, Wii Sports, Red Dead 2, Mario Kart 8 are your top 5. Oops. How'd that happen? How the fuck did I do that? There we go. It will be back in a second. Give me a moment.
About Starfield. This was released...
Okay, so he's going to talk about Starfield now. I still don't understand why he thinks that Bethesda is trying to why he thinks that Bethesda thinks they're Rockstar, he's not really made that clear other than showing the timeline and saying that they didn't make as much money. He's going to talk about Starfield. Here we go.
By a AAA developer. This cost $200 million to make. It has mixed Steam reviews with 83,000 reviews. At the time of recording, it has 2,500 people online on Steam. I just want to point out, this is less than Dark and Darker. It isn't fun. Oh, I just want to point out, this is less than Dark and Darker.
You can't. Okay, wait. You can't say. Okay, you know what? Yeah, Dark and Darker, right at that second that you went and took these screenshots, has more people playing than Starfield. But in the last 24 hours, Starfield had more people playing. Like, come on. That's so, like, you can't, like, that's not as strong of an argument. More people were playing Starfield, even if it isn't that much. Like, come on. In the last 24 hours, at that very second, yeah, less people were playing, but in the last day, more people were playing Starfield. That's a bad example. That's a bad example. Also, when you say here in Starfield, in your basic general thing, 2.5K online, 6.3 peak Steam, that was, again, at what? Now I've lost it.
Online on Steam. I just want to point out.
That was the 24-hour peak. This is the all-time peak for Starfield was 300,000 people. That's like that's not fair to say that it's peak on Steam. Here, 2.5K online at that time. That makes it look like you're saying that at maximum, like, there ever was 6.3 thousand people when it wasn't that.
Online on Steam.
That's come on. That's like, it's funny because it's like, I'm not defending Bethesda. I think Bethesda is bad. I know that Starfield isn't that great. I'm going to start playing Starfield for like the first time fully on Friday. And I know I'm not going to enjoy it. And I know I'm not going to think it's a great or a good game. I'm going to think it's bad. But, like, this is a bad argument. This is not a good argument. And when you set this up to be like, look, this random multiplayer game, Darker and Darker, I've heard of it, I've seen people play it, is doing better than Starfield. But then you put the number that shows that it's doing worse than Starfield in that day. That's not a good argument.
This is less than Dark and Darker. It isn't fun. Oh, by the way, Starfield got an 83 on Metacritic. You know what that means?
Okay, isn't fun is not a good argument. I try not to make the is it fun argument, and I know it's hard. It's so easy to do the isn't fun argument. It is, but the issue with the isn't fun argument is that it can easily be diffused by saying, well, I had fun with it. And same and vice versa, where if you say, oh, I had fun with it, it's easy to say, well, I didn't. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to, you should honestly just say it's a bad game. That's easier to defend, because you can then, if someone says, oh, what do you mean bad game? Oh, you can start talking about gameplay. You can start talking about story issues, mechanical issues, technical issues, all these things that you can actually concretely point to that are examples of why a game isn't good. But when you say, oh, it isn't fun, it's hard to defend that. It's really hard to defend that. Because you can just say, well, it is fun. There are plenty of things where it's like, someone might really like a Paradox map maker game. And you could say it's fun, like a map game. Like, I'm thinking like a grand strategy game. I like those kind of games. But a lot of people look at that and go, oh, it is, I don't like, it's not fun. And it's like, it's hard, I can't say to them, well, no, you're wrong. You're not, like, it's taste is a thing, and it's hard to account for that. If you're going to try to make a criticism of a piece of art, like a video game, a movie, a television show, anything, fun is a bad example, or a bad argument. Better to say I enjoy it despite its flaws. Like, that would be that. If you're trying to defend a bad game, you can say or you're trying to justify like your enjoyment of a bad game, saying you like it despite its flaws. is fair if you recognize that, like, yeah, it's bad.
No bonus.
Okay, that I get the joke. Haha, no bonus. They only got an 83 on Metacritic. Whatever. New Vegas 83 Metacritic thing. I get it. It's okay to like. It is okay to like flawed things. It's okay to like flawed things. Don't try to tell me that a game that is flawed is good, though. Like, you can like Fallout 76 all you want, and you can enjoy the time you spend with Fallout 76. Don't try to tell me that Fallout 76 is a good game. And this is coming from someone who has a lot of hours in Fallout 76. So, like, you know, yeah.
Nobody asked for Star.
You can love watching The Room. The Room is an extremely funny movie to watch. It's got horrendous acting, writing written by an alien, set design designed by a different alien, and it's awful. But it's an extremely enjoyable watch. But no one will defend it saying it's a good movie because they think it's an enjoyable watch.
Starfield. It put two major
Oh,
game
hi, Naz, yeah.
franchises on hold.
All right, so here we go. I wanted to go. Let's go back a bit. So
Nobody asked for Starfield. It put two major game franchises on hold, and this point I cannot stress enough.
oh, copyright music. So nobody asked for Starfield, and it's like, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think. Like, I don't think nobody asked for Starfield. There was a lot of hype when Starfield was first announced. There was a lot of hype. A lot of people were wondering if Bethesda was going to do a new IP. A lot of people were excited when they first launched that trailer, and they're like, oh, Bethesda's making their own, like, science fiction IP? You know, people were excited for it to come out. So I feel like this is a bit of a retcon, some retroactive continuity here, where you are like, oh, everyone like didn't like Starfield eventually, or Starfield was overwhelmingly did not received well, and so I'm going to go back and say that, well, nobody asked for it then. Well, that's not necessarily true. Also put two major games on hold. Yeah, I guess, but like, I don't know, like, yeah, okay. I'm gonna skip the part where he's playing copyrighted music so I don't get annihilated by the internet people.
Fallout and The Elder Scrolls are separately multi-billion-dollar franchises, if done correctly. They're rich in lore, beloved by millions, and Bethesda stopped making them to work on this fucking space game, which...
Yeah, but like, it's not like they were going to stop making them forever. You know what I mean? Like,
by its very nature is completely antithetical to every...
Whoa! We're getting into a crazy fucking sentence. Wait.
This fucking space game, which by its very nature is completely antithetical to everything Bethesda has done to this point.
That's a huge thing to say. That Starfield is, by its nature, is antithetical to everything Bethesda has done to this point. Does he mean a science fiction game is antithetical to everything Bethesda's done to this point? Does he mean, like, the quality of... Like, I think that Starfield is completely on par with how the trajectory of Bethesda has gotten. Like, it has, like, if you want to chart Bethesda games as like a constant down over the years, then Starfield is right on track. Starfield is right on track for the trajectory of Bethesda getting worse at making games. Like, it's and that's another thing, is that it's not antithetical. Like, in terms of, if you want to talk about one of the big things that almost everyone talks about Bethesda games, is the idea of exploration. Exploration is big in their games. They say it themselves. Space is one of many, but like, is a huge genre for having exploration. The fucking final frontier. You know, it's... You know, there's so many games that try to do some sort of space exploration, and it feels like that would be a logical area that Bethesda could try to, could try their hand at. They did it badly, but it's not antithetical to what they've made. Starfield is literally distilled Bethesda juice. Probably an exploration game. It's exploring shit, which is what Bethesda's always done. It's a science fantasy game. It has magical powers. It's literally the fusion of both genres that Bethesda is known for. I don't know, man. I'm like, I'm also confused how this video is a little over halfway over, and so this like whole first part felt like a lot of, I don't know, needless setup to him saying that Bethesda is not like Rockstar because of money and the time that they've spent on games, and now he's talking about Starfield, and I'm curious, like, how is this going to loop into to Bethesda not, or to Bethesda thinking that they're Rockstar and they're not?
Starfield further damaged Bethesda's brand. Fallout 76 was a huge blow to Bethesda, but Starfield, it really shows what happens if you give Todd and the boys no clear direction. Just space game. Starfield didn't innovate on literally anything in the industry at all. I mean, everybody knows this. It's a regression in every single way.
No, I don't think it's a regression. Again, it's weird. It's like you don't have to consider it a regression. It is a progression. You know, Bethesda is in decline. They have consistently made games that are bad, like for like years now. It's not a regression. A regression for Bethesda would be them making a good game. That would be a regression. If they suddenly made a game that was like fucking Morrowind, and it was like a space game, but it felt like Morrowind, it had the quality of Morrowind, the depth of Morrowind, or something like that, that would be a regression. It would be like a tumor shrinking. You know, but at this point, Bethesda's terminal. Like, you know what I mean? That would be regression. This is progression. This is Bethesda progressing down the same thing that they've been doing since arguably Oblivion. A lot of people point out Skyrim as the big one, or Fallout 4, but some people go as far back as Oblivion, and you know, or Fallout 3. Like, Starfield is the conclusion of the road they've taken. This is exactly, as to quote Patrician, you know, this is Starfield is the game we deserve, or the game you deserve, people who really like Bethesda's games. This is the game you deserve. You know, that's it. Like, Starfield is that. Okay, looking at a weird NPC meme.
When Microsoft bought Bethesda, I had it in my head that, maybe they'll greenlight new Fallout games. Maybe they'll remaster New Vegas. Remake 1 and 2 on, like, in a graphically better situation than they're in right now. Okay, let's be honest.
Oh.
Nope. Instead, do nothing.
Oh, no. No. Why? Why do you... He's like, oh yeah, wouldn't it be great if they remastered New Vegas? No! Why do you want a remaster of a game that's, like, only 15 years old, 16 years old? My graphics, exactly. Why do you need a remake of that? Why do you need a remake of 1 and 2? Like, the games are fucking fine. They're products of their time. They don't need to look better. They look great. There's so much of those games are so fucking detailed and well made. The fucking talking heads are fucking iconic. Why the fuck do you need a remake of these games? These people, again, it's so much graphics brains and, like, unwilling to install a patch games, or brains. Like, if you install, like, a patch, those games work fine. They work fine on modern day. The UI scales, they're on modern resolutions. You can alt-tab. Everything works fucking fine. You're just, and same with New Vegas. Like, oh, the game was old. It was made in 2009. It's like, fuck, god damn. That could be interesting. Well, I don't know. I don't know if you could do a Tale of Two Wastelands style 1 and 2, considering they're like 50 years apart. But
it's like the one time where you're just begging for a little bit of corporate greed, you know?
No. Why should people... and then why should people trust Bethesda to remaster New Vegas when they can't even update Fallout 4 properly? Graphics brains. The game has to look betterer because that's how games work. They look betterer, and old games don't look betterer. You know, I need post-processing. I need Unreal Engine to cover the entire screen in blur and ambient occlusion and lens flare and motion blur, and I want the frame rate to never reach above 45.
A little bit of money-hungry Phil. But no, somehow they're able to just buy ZeniMax for $8 billion and then just let Todd and the boys.
Okay.
Todd and the boys.
Okay, you need. Okay, dude, you're having some issues with your numbers. I do it too, where I do it too, where I like, I round up sometimes.
ZeniMax for $8.
But you can't say that they bought them for $8 billion when you say that they bought them for 7.5. That's not like, that 0.5 isn't 50 cents, it's $500 million. Like, that is a significant, like, amount. You know what I mean? Like, you don't just say 7.5 billion. Especially when you highlighted on the screen that it wasn't $8 billion. $8
billion?
Does he also round up 15 years to 20?
And then just let Todd and the boys continue doing fuck all. You know, it's been said a million.
So the thing is that they didn't continue doing fuck all. I'm pretty sure that Microsoft, before they spent $8 billion, as you say, they were when did the acquisition happen? And I'm pretty sure they would have been making Starfield, and I'm pretty sure it was a case of the fact of wow, these guys have made these other games that have made lots of money and that are very popular and all that. 2021. So like, yeah, they would have been making Starfield. They would have known that Starfield is their next. Like, these guys have a bunch of very famous IPs. They get a lot of money from their games. They're making their whole new IP that's a big, huge, massive, endeavor. Why would Microsoft be like, oh, instead make that big game that you're making, make Fallout New Vegas remaster, make Fallout 1 and 2 remaster. Yeah, and but
in times that Microsoft owns Obsidian and Bethesda right now, and so they can do the unthinkable.
Oh God, don't I don't I want to squash. I'm gonna do it right now. You do not want current day Obsidian making Fallout New Vegas 2. Obsidian is not a person. Obsidian is not an individual. Obsidian is a company made up of people. The people who made New Vegas 1 do not work there anymore. They're completely different. They have not made a good game, Obsidian, in years. Pentiment was like the only thing they made in the last couple of years that is of quality, and that was like a fucking like weird fluke side project. It's not. They're not going to make Fallout New Vegas. Like, it would be a fucking trash fire. Look at Outer Worlds 2. Look at Avowed. That's what you'd be getting in New Vegas 2. Stop. These people need to play Dead Money again. Let go. Let go. You need to let go. It's not going to happen, and more so, you don't want it to happen. It would be a monkey's paw situation. Oh, here's Fallout New Vegas 2, and it sucks shit. Just like, God, I'm sick of that. Oh, New Vegas 2. Obsidian is not the same company. Those people are long gone. Oh my God. Yeah, I can't wait for the next WoW expansion because the company made Legion and Wrath. Yeah, no, these people, that was 16 years ago. 17 years ago almost. It will be 17 years. People are moved on. They've retired, they're at different companies, they're doing other jobs. It's not the same people. It's something that is insane, absolutely insane with video games specifically. You don't see it really with any other genre or medium, because Like, when you look at a movie and you say, man is directing this movie, it's like, oh, man directed this other movie, and I liked other movie, and it's the same man directing and or writing this movie. And so there's, like, the expectation that the skill that made the first movie will also be present in the second movie. Where, like, companies are not people. Obsidian is not the same people. Bethesda is not the same people. You know, there's the people come and go, it's like the ship of fucking Theseus. Oh, geez, stop, let go. You don't want Fallout New Vegas 2. Granted, there are exceptions to that. James Cameron, Ridley Scott. You could argue that's just them getting old. Yeah, like the thing is though, is that like it's more reliable when you say person, individual director, writer, whatever, made one thing, I hope they make other thing really good. But when it's a company, it's much harder because the people who make up that company might be gone. Also, yes, I understand, make new stuff. I remember watching Star Wars Empire Strikes Back in the cinema, blew my mind. Great, I don't want to watch it for the rest of my life. Yes, exactly. We can make other things. And the thing is that granted, when people try to make other things, they make bad things. Avowed sucked. The Outer Worlds isn't very good. Starfield was a catastrophe, but, you know, we can hope.
Do the unthinkable. But it really just seems like they're gonna just do nothing. That was until the Fallout TV show.
Oh, boy. If people want modern Fallout, just play Underrail. No, you don't understand. Underrail is, it's turn-based and icky and isometric, and that's for big dumbs. And the graphics aren't good enough for me. I can't unless the game starts with the Unreal logo, I won't play it. I'm gonna preemptively take a drink because I've been talking a lot. Making new stuff is bad now. Stickman said so. Remember, no one asked for Starfield except all those who wanted them to make a new IP. So he's going to talk about the Fallout show. I'm curious. I'm actually going to preemptively bring up the Fallout show wiki. All right, here we go.
That was until the Fallout TV show. Microsoft and Bethesda didn't expect the show to succeed, which can
Let's let him finish the sentence.
be fair. I mean, shows.
Okay. Microsoft and Bethesda didn't expect much from the show. They didn't expect the show to succeed. What is your evidence for that? You can't just assert something like that. Now, I'm going to look up. Do you know how much the first season cost to make? I had it right here a second ago. The first season cost $153 million. $153 million. Do you want to let him finish the sentence?
Often fail, but they had no faith in it whatsoever.
Oh my God. They had no faith in it whatsoever. On what do you base that on? They didn't expect the show to succeed. They had no faith in it whatsoever. Amazon spent $153 million. I'm going to read from the Wikipedia page the development part of the thing. Bethesda had been approached several times about a television adaptation of the Fallout video game series since the developer released Fallout 3 in 2008, according to Todd Howard, though he felt none of the suggestions met the vision of the Fallout series. Pete Hines was warned that the company about an impact of a poor adaptation. There's more things that can go wrong than can go right. So what happened was the situation changed when Jonathan Nolan approached Bethesda with his idea of a Fallout TV show, having been an avid player of the game series. And Howard saw that Nolan had created the Westworld series, found a clear adaptation, and they agreed to approach the game and bring the game to the television series. Like, this is exactly the opposite of what he's saying. But he's saying that they didn't have any expectations when, from what we can see, is that they didn't want to make a TV show until someone approached them, that Todd saw his show that he liked and what he brought for an adaptation for the show and said, yeah, this is good. Now, I think the show is fucking a catastrophe. But the thing is that it's not what he's saying here. I don't think they would expect it to fail. I don't think they would let the adaptation go through. I don't think they would let the adaptation go through and spend $150 million on it. I don't think Amazon would do that if they expected it to fail. Like, fuck me. All right, well, let's see what he says from here.
They had absolutely nothing planned. No games ready, not even a Fallout 76 update. It wasn't until after the show came out that Fallout 76 started receiving real updates.
Okay. So his argument for why they didn't expect the show, they had no expectations for it to succeed, was that they didn't have any game stuff ready to go. Yeah, okay, so
Microsoft and Bethesda didn't expect the show to succeed, which can be fair. I mean, shows often fail, but they had no faith in it whatsoever. They had absolutely nothing planned. No games ready, not even a Fallout 76 update. It wasn't until after the show came out that Fallout 76 started receiving real updates. Before
but like, I don't know what is, like, okay, so you know what they did have? They had a bunch of Fallout games that already exist. Like, Fallout 76 exists as a thing still. Fallout 4 exists as a thing still. If people, like, okay, so people who like, also, why would you want, yes, why would you cloud with a Fallout, like, I don't know, like, people who like the games would watch the show because they play the games. People who don't know the games but watch the show might then go play some of the games that exist. You know, it's easy to just Google Fallout games. You know, like, you don't need to have like a new game out at the same time as your movie or television show adaptation.
For that, it was literally just sell you stuff from Fallout 4. After the show, 76 got a huge boost in the developer count, it would seem, which was just a big scramble.
How do you know? Like, it would seem Fallout 76 got a huge boost in developer count when it came out. It was a scramble. According to what? Like, you've not given like any examples in this video. You state something and that's it. Like, I don't, like, that's the thing. It's like you can't just, this video is a bunch of assertions. And some of them are insane, like, oh, Bethesda didn't expect much from the TV show. Oh, nobody wanted a new thing nobody wanted Starfield. Like, you're just saying these things, man.
But Fallout 4. Oh, Fallout 4.
Okay, yes, you're playing the In the Halls of the Mountain.
Update. Not.
He's already dead.
Fallout 4 got the next-gen update.
Okay.
Not too long after the show came out. What did the next-gen update do for Fallout 4?
I like how the captions are calling it the next G update.
Well,
see, that's the thing, is I don't think this is a grift. I don't think this guy's a grift. This was like the first video he made, and I think he's being honest. The thing is I don't think he made a very good video. I think this is his genuine beliefs, and he's doing it because he wanted to make a video about something he felt passionate about. But I don't think he did a good job. This feels very much like a first draft. He didn't check any of his stuff. Like, he doesn't bring any examples to his extreme assertions. He says a ton of things. He asserts a ton of things. He states it, and like, making an assertion is perfectly fine if you back it up with something. If you can then say, X is Y because of this. Because of this, this, and this. I have this claim, you know, here's the thing. You know, you can say, like, if you say things like, and you know what? You could couch it in that I don't think Bethesda had any hope for the show. My belief is that Bethesda didn't have any hope for the show. Why? Because, well, they didn't do anything with games, you know. But when you say that they didn't have any hope, or when you say things that are like blatantly wrong, when you say things that are like blatantly wrong, where it's like, oh, nobody wanted Starfield, that feels like revisionism. That feels like a case of like, you didn't, like, no, people wanted people were excited for Starfield. I'm not defending Starfield. I'm not defending Bethesda, but I'm not going to make up that like, oh, nobody wanted this. Nobody was excited for this. Tons of people are excited for Starfield. We're interested that Bethesda was making a new thing and that it was a science fiction, their own science fiction universe. Like, it's not right. Like, that's incorrect when you say that. And then when you do things that are like blatantly wrong, where you say things like Starfield's max was 6.3 thousand people, and then but you don't point out until a second later that that's only a 24-hour average, when the actual total that you count in the video is 300,000. And you say that, oh, Darker and Darker had more people playing than Starfield, and it's wrong. I'm sorry, that was probably one of the most fucking insane things, I think. I have to go back and see it again, if I can find it. Where he says, like, he points out that Starfield had less... I don't know if I'll be able to find it. It was only up for a couple seconds. Oh, here we go. No, wait, where was it? I don't know where it is. But, like, he points out that, like, Starfield didn't have... And it's like, it had 6,000... who could have been read. I don't know. Well, I will just continue. So, Fallout 4 Next Gen Update. Broke the game in many ways. That is correct. Let's see what else.
Broke the game in a lot of different ways.
Right.
It didn't add what it was meant to add, which was mainly, there was a widescreen support thing. That was kind of why it was called the Next Gen Update, I think. It was because it was going to add widescreen support. It didn't do that. It just, like, stretched the screen, which made the UI all freak out. It was just, they're awful.
Like, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to pause.
You,
like, he doesn't... Okay.
Why it was called the Next Gen Update,
Stop.
I think,
Why didn't you pause? Oh, I'm dragging the fucking subtitles. I didn't even know you could do that. So, you know what? Do another take. Read this confidently.
Which was mainly, there was a widescreen support thing. That was kind of why it was called the Next Gen Update, I think. Which is
like you don't sound like you're even sure of what you've written. Like, read widescreen. Like, I think he's trying to... Is it ultra wide support? I think is what it was supposed to be. Maybe like it's meant to for like ultra wide screens for like the 21 by whatever. I think he is talking about ultra wide. That's what I believe he's talking about. If I Google Fallout 4 Next Gen Update content, and I go to the Fallout Wiki and I see what's available in there. If I Google ultra wide, or if I search for ultra, oh no, ultra wide, wide? I don't even see anything on this about that. Maybe it's only telling me content. Next gen update, ultra wide. It does seem like it was ultra wide. That's what it was adding, but apparently it's still borked.
It was going to add widescreen support. It didn't do that. It just like stretched the screen, which made the UI all freak out. It was just, they're awful. And then Fallout 4 stayed broken for about 18 months. But the main thing, the next gen update...
Yeah, that's exactly what I expect about for Bethesda. Add an update, it breaks a bunch of shit, and then they added more monetization. Yeah, that's what I expect of them now.
They did was add more monetization in the form of Creation Club nonsense. So fast forward to the Anniversary Edition, which was about 18 months, I believe. So the Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition broke the game in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, it did.
It charged you for literally nothing.
Yep.
I mean, like, there are options for me to currently buy stuff on the Steam page for Fallout 4 that would give me nothing.
You don't give two shits about it.
Stop putting memes of copywritten shit in.
It doesn't work on PlayStation. For some reason, it's just completely... There's pieces of it that are completely broken on PlayStation. It broke tons of mods, which actually, I forgot to mention that for the Fallout 4 Next Gen update. One of the...
Well, why didn't you go back and rewrite it then? Oh, come on. Now you're just like... Just go back and add that then. Mention that it just... That would take 2 seconds. Did you do this all in one take?
really core headaches with that update was that it broke everybody's mods. Because Fallout 4 hadn't been updated for a very long time at that point.
Yeah.
Oh, and it added more monetization, and I mean a lot more this time. So while we're here, let's talk about The Elder Scrolls 6. What do we know about The Elder Scrolls 6? Well, it's still years away. This much is confirmed by Todd. It'll be using ancient technology when it does release. We know nothing about the actual game. Two things are for sure, though, and that is lies will be told, and there will be Creation Club on launch. It's the sequel to Skyrim from 2011.
Oh my god. Yeah, no shit. No shit. No shit. No shit. No, really? 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 Very long time. Didn't he say it was 18 months from the next gen to the anniversary edition? Yeah. I think he's talking about the next gen edition, technically. I think he's talking that from the next gen update. Before that, Fallout hadn't been touched probably since whatever like was the last mods for DLC or patches for DLC. But like, why would okay? So this is like it's going to be a sequel to Skyrim. It's like, yes, the Elder Scrolls 6 will be a sequel to the Again, people forget that that Skyrim is not just called Skyrim. It's called the Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim. Like, yeah, I know it's going to be a sequel to the previous game in the series. I could have gotten that.
One of the most successful games ever made, and I say that a little bit loosely. I think it's got like 30 million sales under its belt, but that's a significant.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's like, how far down on the list is it? I bet if I look, I bet it's still pretty high. If I go to that fucking list of best-selling video games of all time, where's Skyrim? Skyrim is tied with like 6 other games for the 31st best-selling game of all time. Considering how many fucking games there are, yeah, it did pretty well.
Significant number. It's
The Elder Scrolls V
There has
Skyrim.
been absolutely zero urgency from Bethesda, ZeniMax, or Microsoft to get this out the door, and it's not hard to demonstrate.
Okay, so like, there's zero urgency for Bethesda, ZeniMax, or Microsoft to get this game out the door. So like, I don't get it. Like, what? So, okay, so this is weird because it's like, you do do you want them to make it quicker or not? Or like, do you want the urgent? Like, what is the urgent? Like, what do you mean the urgency? Like, they have to make the game. They're making other things. Like, you know, I don't know.
Demonstrate that. I mean, by the time The Elder Scrolls 6 releases, there would have been a 16 to 17 year gap between 5 and 6. For reference, there
No, probably longer.
was a 5-year gap between 4 and 5. Fallout 3 Remaster. This one's a hot topic recently. My guess is it'll have a 2026 to 2028 release. I know that's like an extremely safe guess, but it's so hard to read these people. This one's rumored.
You could have done another take. You really can do another take. You really could have done another take. You didn't have to say I do the same thing. I whenever I stream, I fuck words up. I stutter. I use the wrong thing. I fuck up all the time. But this is a live stream. I'm doing this live. You're hearing this only a couple seconds after it's left my mouth. If I'm putting a video up, I'm going to try to catch that. And like, I don't know, do a second take? Do you know how much cutting I did for what's it called? For that video I made? I did so much cut. Or how many takes I had to cut out. Where I would read like a line, and sometimes it was like 30 seconds of me reading the same 1 second line, and I just kept flubbing it. You know, because you say it wrong, you read it in order, you're too close, you're too far, you fucked it up, you didn't read it right. Like, just do another take, man. This video isn't that long. It's 15 minutes long. It wouldn't take you that long to re-record these things.
To be developed by Bethesda themselves?
Because like, that's the thing, is that you stuttering in the word 2 3 times. You had to record this. I'm assuming you wrote this. I'm assuming that this isn't just a rant. I'm assuming you wrote this because it seems like it's a little bit more scripted than just someone going off the cuff. You had to write this, you had to read it out loud and record it, you had to then put it onto a timeline and put visuals to it, and then listen to it as you did that, and then hopefully you listened to it before you rendered it out, and then hopefully you listened to it after you rendered it out, and then you might have loaded it up to YouTube privately to hear how it looks, see how it looks, and hear how it sounds on YouTube. You should have listened to this video like 17 times, and you couldn't have, like, just decided to retake that. It would have taken you like a minute.
To 2028 release? I know that's like an extremely safe guess, but it's so hard to read these people. This one's rumored to be developed by Bethesda themselves. The last one was outsourced to that studio I can't think of the name of.
Oh man. So you really? Like, I don't know if, is this supposed to be a joke? Like, the studio, like, because it looks like he looked this up after, like, so you know what? I'll give you here's a little. There's a point where in my Fallout 4 video, I say, in regard to the quest, long time coming, where you have to find a bunch of tapes, in my first take of it, I said 8. And I put up on the screen as a correction 9 in quotation marks, or like 9 with an asterisk. And you know what I did? I went back and I re-recorded 9 and removed that off the screen. And it took me like 2 minutes.
Outsourced to that studio I can't think of the name of.
Oh, I have a proposition for you. Best not to talk about it here. Meet me at the sewer grate.
Yeah, the Obsidian's all fucked up, I get it.
I remember hearing that this one is rumored to be developed by Bethesda. In-house, baby. Who the fuck knows what that will mean? Will it have the Unreal Gamebryo combo?
Probably.
Is Bethesda developing this one in-house to learn how to do that method? I don't know. What I do expect from this is for it to lead to the New Vegas remaster, which is what we all crave.
No, we don't. Oh, why do you people want a fucking remaster of a game that works? This Fallout New Vegas is not lost fucking media. Fallout New Vegas is not like some fucking ancient esoteric knowledge that like you like. Fallout New Vegas works. It's rough. It has issues. All of the clips, I did about 3, maybe 4 hours of playthrough of Fallout New Vegas to collect footage for my Fallout video when I had to reference New Vegas. I did that on a vanilla copy of New Vegas. I installed it through Steam, I ran it through the launcher, and I played it. That was it. Sure, it crashed a couple times, but it's not like it's impossible to run. Like, you can fucking play New Vegas. There is a decade and a half of people who have made mods specifically to make the game more stable. Stuff like Viva New Vegas. You can play the game now. There's mod packs and all these other ways to make the game look nicer if you really need it to be higher res. What the fuck? Why do people want remakes so badly? I don't understand. These games are playable. I can understand if a game is like Orphaned. If it's really, really old and it can't run on modern hardware without like a lot of work. If it's stuck on some weird console or some like, you know, if it was only fucking made for the 3DO or the Dreamcast or some shit and it can't be, you know, that's the only way to play it outside of emulation. Sure, I can understand having a port, a remaster, or even a remake for something like that. Or at the very least with a remake, a true remake, something like the System Shock remake where they make the entire game from the ground up and make it different so that it essentially stands out as a separate title and is not a replacement for the original. But like, you just like, is it just a case of like graphics bad and I don't want to install a patch? Like, fuck, I don't get it.
Fallout 5. As I said before, I think it'll be a 2033-ish.
I don't think Fallout 5 is going to be in 2033. I think Fallout 5 is going to be in the next... Fallout 5 is going to be in the next 3 to 4 years. We will see Fallout 5 before the end of the decade. We will see Fallout 5 before the end of the decade. They will try to capitalize on the show. The show is getting a 3rd season. We know that. If it's successful, they might do another. Who knows how many seasons? As long as it keeps making money, as long as it keeps getting received well, they're going to keep making these seasons. So there could be 4, 5, 6 seasons of this fucking show, enough to actually catch up to a potential, let's say, 2028, 29, 30 release. Is there a ray tracing mod? Maybe that will convince these people. Yes, 10 frames a second, please, so the light looks slightly better.
Release date, it'll probably be on the upgraded creation engine. And really just the direction of the Elder Scrolls 6 is gonna tell us what Fallout 5 is gonna be.
Okay, you've gotten this very confused, and which is weird because this video was only released 2 weeks ago. You're not seeing Fallout. We're not seeing Elder Scrolls 6 before we see Fallout 5. They have said recently, within the last like month or so, they're working on Fallout 5 as like the main thing. Todd himself has said Fallout 5 is what we're putting all our effort in. Elder Scrolls 6 is probably still in pre-production. We're not going to see an Elder Scrolls 6 until the end of the decade, until 2032 or some shit. It's going to be Fallout 5 because of the TV show, because it's doing well, and because it's much, 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 much more popular in the sort of public mind than Elder Scrolls. They think that they can have now a whole new audience of normies and people who don't know anything about Fallout beyond the TV show. Elder Scrolls 6 is not going to come out. It's going to be the opposite. Fallout 5 is going to show us what Elder Scrolls 6 is going to look like. And, you know, to be fair, it's probably going to look like Starfield.
Be like, we gotta see if Bethesda is going to listen to literally anything that has been told to them. So
No.
in summary, we are currently in the longest Fallout drought. 76 does not count, Todd.
Why not? Why does Fallout 76 not count as a Fallout game? Like, it does. It's a bad game. It's a spin-off. You count Fallout New Vegas. You don't count Tactics or Brotherhood of Steel, but then you count New Vegas, but then you don't count Fallout 76. Like, I don't... Like, what is the point? Like, if New Vegas counts, then 76 counts. Yeah, exactly.
3 was 10 years, 3 to 4 was...
They're very similar. They are spin-offs made by other studios, not Bethesda, in between or after the release of a mainline game. Fallout 3, New Vegas. Fallout 4, 76. It counts. Also, I want to point out this video is called Bethesda Thinks They're Rockstar, and this is the summary we're getting at the end.
4 to 5 is about 18 years. You can combine the wait between 2 to 3 and 3 to 4, and you won't get the wait between 4 to 5. Bethesda will let their biggest franchises sit for 15 plus years. Microsoft is just as at fault as Bethesda for letting Fallout get to this point. And the odds are nothing will change. Again, I'm sorry for the doomer take, but...
And you're going to give this book, this great American novel, to the player. And what are they going to do with it? They're going to rip out every page.
I don't...
Paper airplanes out of them.
You.
Leave a like.
Okay, memes, whatever.
Thanks for watching. Leave a like.
I don't know. I think Bethesda's more at fault than Microsoft. I'd like to say that this is the summary screen we get at the end. This is the summary screen. Fallout drought. Bethesda will let their biggest franchises. Microsoft is just at fault. Odds are nothing will change. Hey man, don't skip. I don't know. The memes are like, I don't care. It's a meme. I get it. It's Emil talking at that convention or that for developers.
Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. If you're watching right now, like if you're still watching this video and you haven't left a like, come on, bro. Like,
okay, we get it. The video was called Bethesda Thinks They're Rockstar. You don't really say much about the first, let's say, 5 minutes nearly. You then say that they're not like Rockstar. Or you assert that they want to be like Rockstar because they take a long time to make their games, or that in the same 8-year period they made one game and so did Rockstar, but that they're not like Rockstar because they didn't make as much money with it. Okay, I don't see how really those are connected. You then go on to talk about Starfield and how it's bad, sure, but for like weird reasons. You talk about Microsoft, you talk about the Fallout show, and you make some insane assumptions about the Fallout show, which is like weird. Like, I don't like the Fallout show. But like, what was those? Okay. Talk about the patches for Fallout. You give like a very weird sort of summary of how you think like of these games are coming out. I genuinely the title of the video, I feel like this video feels like it could have been. You really don't nail what your point is in terms of like this whole part, like this first, let's say, 7 minutes of the video feel completely unrelated to the previous or to the latter 7 minutes of the video. I don't know, like, I still don't understand why apparently Bethesda thinks they're Rockstar. Why does Bethesda think you're Rockstar? Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like this is like, that take is really weird, and otherwise it feels like just like a start, like a Bethesda criticism video, but it's weird because the criticisms are very poor. And again, I don't defend Bethesda. I consistently shit on Bethesda. But like, you can attack them better. So he has 2 other videos. He has Bethesda's Starfield problem, which came out today, or a day ago, excuse me. And then he has Leave Fallout 4 Alone, Bethesda. One of them is 8 minutes. And you know what? Fuck it. We're going to watch the other ones. I'm going to actually take a break quick. I'm going to use the bathroom and drink some more water. And then we're going to watch his other video. And I want to see, because, like, that was nuts. Like, that was nuts. That was all over the place. All over the place. And also, I'm going to say, if it improves in the other video, good. Extra takes. Share stream? No, I'm not going to play it and walk away. I'm going to put up a BRB screen and then use the toilet. I'll be back. That's not fair. Emil is a much worse writer than this guy. Emil wrote, "The Institute. What do you do? What is your purpose, Institute? Oh, you wouldn't understand."
All right, this has to be documented.
Okay, so this is his other video from 6 days ago called Leave Fallout 4 Alone. A strong drink. Truly entered the dark age of gaming. Studios have crashed. The rest will make anything with AI. Oh boy. Don't worry. AI, once all the money explodes from the AI bubble, no one will afford... Oh, I want to bring it up. So, I looked up. I was curious. So, back last year on the 10th of April, I bought more RAM for my computer. I bought another 32 gigabytes of RAM. Before taxes and shipping, it was $120 for 32 gigabytes of DDR5. Guess how much that same 32 gigabytes, 200 or two 16 gigabyte sticks are selling on Newegg, which is where I bought it from. Someone raids house. This is house quick. It's now $650. This is Canadian, granted, so, but like, it's just fucking insane. Oh god, I bought a $200 2 terabyte SSD with a heatsink, little M2 format heatsink, M.2 heatsink. That one was $200. It is now $480. Oh boy. I will say, the only thing I've purchased for a computer in the last year, I bought a hard drive to store, I bought a hard drive, like a big 8 terabyte hard drive to store my stream backups, my backups of the stream, and that is still $200. That's the only thing that hasn't gone up in price. Oh boy. You can have all the rack space you want, but there won't be any servers in it. Oh my lord. Alright, let's see what this video is. This one's only 8.5 minutes long, so...
Fallout 4, released 2015, about 25 million sales. Pretty good DLC. You know, some were better than others, that's for sure.
It's the biggest piece of dog.
Not a live...
I would argue that that's wrong. I don't know... Okay, so something I have realized... I don't. Okay, so Nuka World might be like the single worst piece of Fallout content ever made outside of the television show. And Far Harbor, I don't know why people. I've seen it in my comments. People saying, "Oh, Far Harbor, Far Harbor, Far Harbor." Far Harbor is like the same as the base game in almost every way. I don't understand why people think that Far Harbor is somehow different. Is it a case of, again, people not playing, like they played the base game and then they put it down for like a year or two and then they went back and played the DLC? Because like it's the same thing. It has all the same issues. Especially with stuff like, oh, what is the quest? Oh, go kill people in a dungeon. Like, what is the quest? Oh, go kill people, go kill ghouls, go kill raiders, go kill monsters. It's the same fucking thing. You know, you're presented with like a similar thing where there are like 3 or 4 different choices. Like it's not like like again, like I'd argue that like sure, I don't mind the visuals. I like the spooky, foggy New England island. That is fun. I like that. I don't mind that as a setting. That part's kind of cool. But like otherwise the combat is the same. The quests are very much the same. I don't know why people say that like, oh, Far Harbor is better. It's not. It's like the same thing.
Service game. It is highly moddable by design.
I would disagree with this.
And in fact, it's basically the only reason people return to the game at all. There's not many.
I don't think that Fallout 4 is moddable by design. I don't think they really like the hacking part with Dima. Yeah, oh god, tower defense. Like it's not like okay, Fallout isn't these games I don't think are moddable by design because they don't ever like make things easier for modders. You know what I mean? Like they don't try to like that implies that when they're making the game that they are by design making it so that people can make mods. And I don't think that Bethesda does that. Because they don't give a shit when things break mods. They don't give a shit about selling mods or anything. Like they don't care about the modding community. They don't. They take it completely for granted. It is not by design. It is incidental. Like, you know, that's the thing. Do they release the mod kit on day one? I don't know. Do they? Because I don't like they don't, do they? Right? Like that's like it's not. Bethesda games are not by design moddable. I think it's incidental based off of the fact that the engine they make just happens to be sort of have tools to make it easy to mod or to change. You know, no, they've never have. It's like, well, like that's the thing. It's like, so by design, they don't actually give a shit.
People who just jump back into Fallout 4 to experience its story again. Not much going on there. Fallout 4 stayed this way for nearly 10 years, until the next-gen update. Huge shout-out to Juicehead and Luke Stevens for being the ultimate resources. Bethesda would be a worse company without them.
I literally have no idea who those two people are. I've never heard of these people in my life. I think I might have seen Juicehead on Twitter, but I don't know. I've never seen a single thing by these people ever, so I don't know who they are. So it's like, oh, shout out to them for like being the ultimate resources. It's like I've never heard of them in my life. So, you know, he's a shill, Juicehead. Oh, good.
Bethesda would be a worse company.
I want to say I saw him talking about the show and saying dumb things.
Then we have to talk about the next gen update because there is no other company quite like Bethesda. They are truly unique. This update released in April 2024. The pros. Console players saw a noticeable frame boost. There were some old bug fixes that modders had fixed like since a week after Fallout 4 came out. They gave us some Creation Club leftovers. Basically, there were some quests that they never got to sell us properly, so they just kind of bundled it in with this update. It's just useless content. And ultra-wide support. Yeah, you wish.
So why did you put what you considered to be useless content under a positive? Pros. Creation Club leftovers. It's not bad, just okay. It's useless content.
So they just kind of bundled it in with this update. It's just useless content.
And you consider that a pro? Okay.
Ultra-wide support. Yeah, you wish. Let's go over the cons of the next-gen update. Starting with broken mods. This normalized the version rollback mod, which basically just lets you play on older versions of Fallout 4.
Yeah, okay. Well, this is not this is expected. This is standard.
PC only, so console players just can't do this.
Come on now, dog.
And you know, it's really funny that they broke mods given that they were selling mods to you. This was back with the old Creation Club menu, and they were pretty selective with which mods they sold back then. So ultra-wide support. This launched completely untested. And I mean, there is no way that anyone at Bethesda had
I don't really have much to say about
mod.
ultra-wide.
It's just not possible, not with how this was. It was completely broken.
If it's broken,
All
it's
the
broken.
UI
I'm not like I don't you know, I don't know what like
This would be one thing, but they also broke the existing mod. So they essentially patched out ultra-wide support until the mod got updated.
Holy G.
yeah, okay, get it. It's a reference to a thing.
For to be Steam Deck certified. So they removed features in order to get it there. And they locked players into settings by removing the initial launch screen for Fallout 4. There was some settings in there that you could only change from there, but since they removed that screen, people just got locked into whatever settings they were using. A whole bunch of
Can't you change all of the launcher settings through INI edits? I'm pretty sure you could just change most, if not all, of the launcher settings through INI edits. You don't have to do it through the launcher, right? That's how a lot of mods work, is that they just alter the INI settings. And you know, so if they need the game to run, if a mod or a mod pack or whatever, INI editing is fucky on Steam Deck. Okay, well, fair enough. I've never played it on this. I don't have a Steam Deck. But yeah, okay. Well then,
bugs got
fair.
introduced. I think the most important one is that they broke VATS. VATS is very core to Fallout in general, but even in Fallout
VATS is very core to Fallout in general. I say this because Fallout 4 has okay gunplay. I swear to God, I don't know where this lie comes from. Like, okay, Fallout 4 does not have okay gunplay. Like, play any other first-person shooter. It's like, oh, it's not a first-person shooter, so it's okay. It's like, no, well, then don't say it has good gunplay. It's fair to say that Fallout 4 doesn't have good gunplay, or has, like, mediocre gunplay. Like, it doesn't, it's not even okay. Like, just, ugh.
4, it's still very core to combat. They added a whole bunch more crashes with this update. A ton of UI issues.
It's also not core to combat. You can play through Fallout 4 not using VATS at all. Like, I understand, it's bad that it was broken. Like, yeah, the bug shouldn't break VATS. But, like, you can, like, watch my fucking playthrough of Fallout 4. I barely touched VATS for the entirety of the game.
With the Creation Club itself, save corruption, which is a really devastating one. I mean, people logging on and having their characters, however many years old they are, and just having corrupted saves. And they weirdly added a whole bunch of the skybox issues that were present in Fallout 76 when it launched. So later on, there was a May patch.
Okay.
It fixed a few things that the next gen
patch
update
bad,
added,
new patch
notably
fixed
not
old
VATS
patch.
or ultra-wide support. It broke mods again, which scared a lot of modders into thinking that they were going to keep updating the game, and so they waited to update their mods, which is kind of sad and funny because Bethesda then left it.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! I just scrolled, and do you know what I saw in the scroll? Oh no! Oh no! I saw Fallout London. Oh no! We're gonna talk about Fallout London in this. We're gonna get some Fallout London. Some Fallout London. Ooh, Fallout London. It's such a good game.
18 months, and they said nothing. Complete silence with these guys all the time. More and more new bugs kept getting discovered as time went on. Like if you had
Follow Lolo,
NPCs,
time for some more
it caused
Follow Lolo. I
insane
thought I
stuttering
left it
for your
behind.
game. The more NPCs that were in the area, the more the stuttering was. Console players couldn't download mods or even search for mods.
Like, this is all great. Like, this is all fair. This is all, like, you know, like, again, this is like nothing. This is like, yeah, they released patches that broke things. Okay.
Can't go over this without talking about Fallout London.
What's the location?
Oh, no. Oh, Fallout.
War never changes.
I have not played it.
The release date was delayed because of the next-gen update. It was originally planned to release like 2 days before the next-gen update was then announced for. So they delayed the mod because
Right, I remember this. I
inevitably
remember
it
hearing
would've
about
just
this.
broken on release. It also relies on some other mods to work right, so they had to wait until those mods updated as well. Fallout London eventually released to universal praise,
Did it, though?
except by Bethesda.
Did it, though? Because I don't remember hearing a fucking thing about Fallout London. I remember it coming out and being a huge thing and people talking about the fact that it's a big, huge Fallout mod in London. But I don't remember anyone, like, saying it was great or good or anything or, like, acclaim for it other than maybe sort of the accomplishment of making something as big as London. But I don't think they talked about how it exists, not about, that was about it. Yes, they didn't really talk about it being good. I bet a lot of people didn't really even play it, to be fair. And then, yes, I also agree, Bethesda doesn't have to take the mod community into account. They don't have to acknowledge fucking anything if they don't want to. And I think, again, Bethesda has constantly said that, or has constantly acted like they don't give a shit about the mod community. They might say, like, every once in a while, like, pay, like, lip service and say, oh, mods, oh, great, but they don't actually give a shit.
Bethesda has never mentioned this mod besides one time when Todd was asked about it.
I wondered if you had a chance to check out the Fallout London mod.
Oh my god. Credit, okay, by the way, I'm blocking it. I want credit, Eurogamer or IGN. Well, which one is it? Which one did you take it from? You took it from one of them. Come on, man, if you're gonna put the credit in, at least just, like, you found this video and you cut it and put it into your video. Where did you find this video? Did you get it from Eurogamer or IGN? Like, come on. Really? Like, just really? Like, I don't think any of either of those are good. But, like, what is the point of putting in saying a credit saying, I found this thing, here is where it was from, but you just go, oh, it's from this place or that place? Well, like, where did you find this? You found it. You found it. This didn't just appear in your video. You had to find this video, download it, copy it from somewhere, cut it into your video, and, like, bring it into what? Ugh. I'm choking on my own spit. I'm losing my mind. You had to bring it into your video editor and put it on the timeline and cut it so it was only this section with only this audio. Where did you get it? It would have been fine even if you just didn't fucking post it. Like, you could have not put that there. So why did you put that there? But, like, see, that's the thing. Unless they both posted the same interview, even if they both posted the same interview, he would have gotten the interview from one place. So let's say this interview was on Eurogamer and IGN. He went to one of those places to take it from. He went to the Eurogamer post, or he went to the IGN post and took it. He could have just fucking put it there. He could have said, I got it from the IGN page, or from the Eurogamer page. Holy.
Only some videos that I've seen online. I have not played it.
So Todd...
Okay, so, like, I don't understand. Okay, so, yeah, the interviewer asks, have you heard of Fallout London? And he says, I've only seen some videos. I have not played it. I don't think Todd Howard is going to play mods. And, like, I think, this is one thing that I will say that is consistently said about Todd Howard, is that the man seemingly makes himself have a lot of, he does a lot of shit. He seems to make him, like, it's one of the things that you read about in the development of other games, like Starfield and such, is that Todd has made himself so, like, higher up in the tier list that he doesn't have enough time to do a lot of the development stuff he should have been doing, or that, you know, that he was still technically in charge of. I don't think the guy is going to fucking spend time to try to play a mod. Also, maybe legally, yeah, he might not actually be able to speak about it.
Claims he also never even played the mod, and I just don't know what to think about this whole thing. A lot of people online kind of say that the reason Bethesda doesn't acknowledge Fallout London is due to legal reasons. But I don't know, man. I really feel like it has more to do with Fallout London is not a paid mod. It's...
But, like, I don't know, like, that's a common thing. Like, they don't talk about, like, any mods, though, then. Like, I don't know, like, why would they? I don't know. What? Like, okay, sure, even if that's true, like, I don't know what that has to say about like Fallout London. Like that, I don't know. That's, yeah, sure, whatever. Fallout London.
Completely free, and I think even more importantly is it reinforces the idea that the best Fallout content doesn't come from Bethesda themselves.
Okay,
I mean, when you think of
I'm gonna make this fucking clear. I'm gonna make this very, very, very clear. Fallout London is just as bad as Fallout 4. Fallout 4 is bad. Fallout London is also bad. Fallout London is essentially the exact same thing as Fallout 4 with a London coat of paint. It is not the best content, Fallout content, that doesn't come from Bethesda. It's just as bad. It is just as bad. It has the same problems in everything. The combat, the quest design, the story. It's all fucking bad. Fallout London is not good. I want to know, did he play Fallout London?
about it, the most well-received pieces of Fallout content that we have received since Bethesda has owned the IP.
Yeah, okay, yeah, great. Play more music.
New Vegas, the Fallout TV show, and then maybe Fallout 3 is in third. But to be honest, Fallout London might be ahead of 3.
I'm going to say it. Fallout 3 is a better game than Fallout London. Fallout 3 is a better game than Fallout London. Also, I got to drink water again. Yippee yay! There'll be no wedding bells for today. Okay. So he brings up that the best Fallout stuff is not stuff made by Bethesda. It's Obsidian with New Vegas. It's the TV show, whatever the fuck this is. They're the people who make the TV show. And then he says Fallout 3, but then he says actually Fallout London.
Third. But to be honest, Fallout London might be ahead of 3. I'm not saying that from my personal opinion or anything, that's just from what I've seen online.
Oh my. So like what is, okay. So it's not even your opinion? You just what you see online? Why wouldn't you say that it's your opinion? Why do I give a shit? I'm watching your video, dude. What do you think is the best, like, things that are the best Fallout content? And if it's a specific, like, do you think, like, why would you bring that up? Like, what? The internet said so. It must be true. Like, yeah, you could. Oh man, like, come on, you. Ooh.
Real fast, how about a quick conspiracy? You break Fallout 4, you funnel people into 76, and you milk them more effectively there?
Oh, no. No. No one who's like, yo, my Fallout 4 is broken because mods is like, I'm gonna go play Fallout 76 now. Like, they're very different games. I won't say completely different. They're very different. There's a difference between sort of like a sort of persistent, always online, I would call it like looter shooter, and whatever the fuck Fallout 4 is supposed to be. I would say the big one is that one is single player and one is multiplayer. You know, and also here's the thing is that, like, there's a good chance that a lot of people have played both of those games already and they might not want to, like, you know, that's like, I don't know. That's a bit of, like, I don't think that's, I think, you know, you want to, this is, what is it? It's, Fallout 3 might be as well considered a niche product comparing to today's gaming landscape in terms of player numbers. Yeah, maybe. But, like, you have to argue, like, you have to look at it at the time. You know what I mean? You have to look at it at the time. You have to look at it for relative at the time. Like, Fallout 3 was huge when it came out in terms of the amount of people who played it and the amount of attention it got and the amount of sales. And that number has grown exponentially in terms of, like, what is considered to be a big thing. But, anyway, for this, I'm going to say this is Hanlon's razor. Never attribute to malice, which can be explained by incompetency. I don't think they broke Fallout 4 to funnel players to 76, to they milk them with microtransactions. I think they broke Fallout 4 because Bethesda is incompetent as well as doesn't really care. That's what I think happened.
I don't know. The anniversary update. The celebration of Fallout 4. Such a ridiculous thing to say. The pros of the anniversary update. It reverted most of the next-gen update's features. I forgot I wrote that down. And that's it. I mean, those are the pros. That's it. It got rid of some of the last update. And for the cons, it broke mods again, the creations menu. The paid DLC that we bought fucking 10 years ago, completely broken for a lot of people. The update itself is broken on PlayStation in too many different ways for me to really get into here. And it brought the Steam rating to mixed. But what is Bethesda's favorite thing about the anniversary update? It brought the price from $20 to $60.
Okay.
Isn't that awesome? Now, you don't have to buy the $60 version of the game, but it's the anniversary edition. I mean, you're hot off watching the Fallout show. You want to play Fallout 4. What's 60 bones?
So, okay, but like, okay. So this is, okay, this is weird because it kind of goes back against what he said in the previous video. One of the things he said about the previous video was that the Fallout show, they didn't expect, Microsoft and Bethesda didn't expect the Fallout show to succeed. They had no expectations whatsoever. And they say, and he points out the fact that they didn't have any like Fallout stuff ready for that. And now you point out that here they're doing that exactly. They're making the anniversary update and raising it because they want to catch people playing the Fallout or watching the Fallout show. Isn't this them doing what you wanted them to do or what you expected them to do if they thought the Fallout show would succeed?
For the anniversary edition.
You mean use my car?
Yeah, it's just to sell to new fans of the show. That's all it is. Let's talk about the 150 creations you get with the anniversary edition. It's mostly just low-effort skins for your single-player game. Skins are successful in multiplayer games because people can play with their friends. I don't think it has the same effect in a single-player game, especially one that was designed to be highly moddable.
Okay, I'm going to say it again. You say that the game was designed to be highly moddable. You have not actually given any evidence to that. You state that it's designed to be highly moddable. Designed means that when Bethesda was making the game, they made it so that it could be highly moddable, instead of it just being a result of the engine they use. They didn't go, oh my god, how do we make sure that people can mod our game? How do we make sure that it's easy and highly moddable? They didn't give a shit about that. And I think evidence to that is the fact that they will release update after update after update after update that will annihilate everyone's mods. The one thing that almost every mod requires, if you've ever modded Skyrim, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 3, Fallout 4, there is usually one major mod that is needed if you want to do any sort of complex modding. You need the script extender mod. The script extender allows all these other types of mods to be added to the game. The thing that updates always break is the script extender. If Bethesda gave a shit, they would actually make it so that the mods weren't, or the updates didn't break script extender. They would also make it, you know what would actually make it so that they were apparently designing it to be highly moddable, is if you didn't need a script extender. If they somehow implemented that into the base game, that would actually go to show that they're trying to make the mods or the game highly moddable. But no, it's the one thing you need. You need it for Fallout 3, you need it for Skyrim, you need it for New Vegas, you need it for Fallout 4, you need a script extender. Like, that's the one thing that like breaks everything else, because everything else is held by this single linchpin, is effectively making every other mod. If you've ever played a mod list, look at what mod is always like right at the top of the list. It's always fucking the script extender, because everything below it is requiring it.
If anyone wants a Pip-Boy skin, they can just fucking download the mod. And 9 times out of 10, the free mod is better.
For me, I view a season of the show as a Fallout entry.
That is the...
Oh, fuck me. Woo! That's a good clip. Thank you, Todd. Woo! Give it up for Todd Howard. The man knows what he's doing. Holy shit. That's nuts. That's actually... I think I've heard that before too, and that still got me.
Thing I have ever heard him say. It's like saying every season of Game of Thrones is the same thing as a new Elder Scrolls game.
Okay, well, that's not the greatest comparison, considering that Game of Thrones doesn't have anything to do with Elder Scrolls. It's like completely different. Like, you know what? That was a dumb thing that Todd said. 100% agree. That's insane and stupid. What you said just didn't make any sense. Todd was comparing an adaptation of Fallout and saying it was like a Fallout entry. It's dumb, but I can see the fucking connection. But like, why did you say that every episode of or every season of Game of Thrones is like a Skyrim or an Elder Scrolls? Those, they're not related at all. Like, why? Whatever.
It's like saying watching a playthrough of Fallout is basically playing Fallout.
They're the same.
That's better. That's better. Yeah, I would not say that watching a playthrough of a game is the same as playing it. I feel like you are missing a clear thing, the tactile interactivity where you actually press the buttons to do actions. Yes, that is I do think that there is a difference.
Picture.
It is the most Todd Howard way to spin not releasing a Fallout game I have ever
Okay,
heard.
they're not releasing a Fallout game. They're like, they were working on a different game. Like, that's the thing, is like they weren't just doing nothing. Like, you can think that Starfield is bad. I think Starfield is bad. I don't think Starfield is good. I think Starfield shouldn't have been made. They didn't, like, again, people expected things out of Starfield. People were excited about Starfield. People were looking forward to Starfield. There was tons of people. It took only a couple months until people started going, oh my god, until even like the biggest shills were able to be like, man, Starfield was disappointing. Like, people were and they were expecting that. That was something they were working on. And Bethesda, they work on one game at a time. That is how they work. They worked on Oblivion, and then they worked on Fallout 3, and then they worked on Skyrim, and then they worked on Fallout 4, and then they worked on Starfield, and now they're working on Fallout 5. Like, they make one game at a time. It's not like they're not making Fallout games because they don't want to make Fallout games. They have different priorities. And they don't just make one series. You could argue that that's maybe not the most efficient way to do it, or maybe that they could potentially, with the amount of money and influence, hire more people or work in, like, have separate sort of, I guess you would say, production lines of games, but that's just not how they do it. And it's funny because, like, that's fine. Like, you don't have to have a lot of games in production or really quickly release games. The amount of time it takes to produce a game doesn't really have any connection to how good a game is. A game can take 10 years to make and be complete dog shit. A game can take 10 years to make and be amazing. A game can take a year to make and be dog shit, and a game can take a year to make and be amazing. It doesn't matter. And they're not making Fallout games. They're doing other things. They spent 8 years working on Starfield thinking it was going to be the next big thing. Sure, that didn't turn out that way. Cyberpunk. I was out of high school, and I was just out of high school when Cyberpunk, was announced, I think, maybe just finishing high school. It didn't come out until I was almost done college. And it wasn't very good at launch. It still isn't that great. It has significant issues.
Only Bethesda could convince themselves of this.
We heard from season 1 that you had renewed interest in the games.
Huge. Yeah.
Do you hope you're going to get loads of, I guess, Steam sales leading up to Christmas now?
That incredibly savage editing was done by BBC themselves. When they just cut to Todd with a zoomed in face when he says huge with that, like, shocked look on his face, that was all them. And that just shows how ridiculous things have gotten. When the news is memeing you because it's such a joke already,
What? Did you get, like, a completely wrong read? What? Wait, whoa, we gotta watch it again.
The games. We heard from season 1 that you had renewed interest in the games.
Huge. Yeah.
Do you hope you're going to get loads of, I guess, Steam sales leading up to Christmas now?
that incredible Savage editing was done by BBC themselves. When they just cut to Todd with a zoomed in face when he says huge with that like shocked look on his face, that was all them. And that just showed
What is his what? The guy says, you got a renewed interest after season 1 in the games. There was like a renewed interest in the games after season 1. Todd goes, huge. What? And he responded, and they cut to him responding because it was like an interjection. Yeah, he answered that there was and like, that makes perfect sense. The show came out, and there was a huge interest in the games because there were people who weren't aware of it who looked up the games. They go, oh, this was based on a game? I'm going to look it up. What? Okay, one more time.
that incredibly savage have ever heard. And only Bethesda could convince themselves of this.
We heard from season 1 that you had renewed interest in the games.
Huge. Yeah.
Do you hope you're going to get loads of, I guess, Steam sales leading up to Christmas now?
That incredibly savage editing was done by BBC themselves. When they just cut to Todd with a zoomed in face when he says huge with that like shocked look on his face, that was all them. And that just shows how ridiculous things have gotten. When the news is memeing you because it's such a joke already,
What? That was like he wasn't shocked. He answered, that looked like a completely normal, like, huge. Oh, you got a lot of renewed interest in the games after season 1. Huge. They were like, is this a bit of the tism? Is this like the an inability to read? Like, that was like the most normal response. I want to say response and reaction at the same time. That was like the most normal reaction in both words and expression to that. Like, that was 100% like casual. Like, yeah, huge. Like, that looked like huge. We got a huge reception or renewed reception in the games because of the TV show that was relevant to the games. And to take that as like they're memeing on Todd, yo. What? Like, come on, man. Like, Todd Howard is a notorious fucking snake oil salesman liar. But like, that doesn't.
No, it's over.
It's kind of like whether you want to play single player, like we see Fallout 4 is huge for that still, 10 years later.
Then stop breaking it.
Okay, but here's the thing. They don't care if they break it because they made an edit to emphasize a point memeing you. They don't care if they break it because the people, I'm going to be honest. The vast majority of people who have ever played Fallout 4 probably didn't play it with any mods. I know this is going to shock the people. Like, you got to remember, a lot of people play a game once and then they never play it again. They finish it or they spend however much time with it, and that playthrough is the one time, and they never touch it again. The vast majority of people don't play with mods. The vast majority of people are not interested in that. The vast majority of people just don't do that. They don't do it. They don't know about it or they don't care to do it. The minority of players of these games, the minority of people who are going back to these games to play them again and again with mods, that is a like 10%. These people, yeah, and that's the thing. Most games, like, that's the thing. Steam achievement completion rates are a really good way of analyzing certain things because they only count certain things. So from what I remember, this is just off the top of my head, Steam only, the achievements, for example, only count games that were turned on once. So they don't count people who never touched the game. And there's another fucking qualifier about them that makes them pretty good. So when you see that like 50% of people have only finished a game or something like that, like gotten like the achievement for getting an ending or something, that is usually pretty accurate in terms of anyone who has actually played the game. They didn't just buy it and sits in their library. They actually played the game for some amount of time. That's the thing, is like most people don't, like the vast majority of people who have ever played Fallout 4, the vast majority of people who might actually buy Fallout 4 after being interested in the series from the TV show will not play with mods, so them breaking it doesn't matter. And Bethesda doesn't care about the people who already bought the game. You already bought the game. They got your money. They're looking to see if they can sell this to other people who didn't do it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like the person who watches the season of Fallout and then goes and buys Fallout 4 on Steam or on their Xbox or the PlayStation or whatever the fuck, they don't care. That's who Bethesda's advertising towards. The people who still haven't bought it. So, anniversary edition, anniversary patch. You know, get fucked. They don't care. Most people don't mod. I know it sucks. I like mods. I love mods. I'm playing a mod pack right now. But most people don't mod things. The most popular downloaded mod is at 11.7 million times, I'm guessing you're saying. Updating over 10 years, and so all those counting individual. Like, you can look at, for example, like, if I go to Nexus, you can see unique downloads, too. If you go, you can see unique downloads for mods. Why did I did not... I typed in new mods. What the fuck is wrong with me? I can't... My brain. If I go to Fallout 4... God, I hate how Nexus changes their fucking thing ever. So Fallout 4, there has been 2.1 billion downloads in total, which sounds like a lot. If we go to the most popular mod of all time, which... That's actually really funny. Do you know what the most popular mod of all time, the most downloaded mod on Nexus for Fallout 4 is? Is it a furry mod? No, it's CBBE. And if you know what that is, you know what that is. So you go to CBBE. CBBE is the body mod. Yes, it's the body mod that makes the bodies less, the female lady bodies less ugly. CBBE for Fallout 4 has 14.1 million downloads. Do you know how many unique downloads it has, though? 3.2 million. So 3.2 million people, like unique users from Nexus, downloaded that. And then the rest were all just re-downloads from like multiple installs from the same people. Like, the vast majority of people don't mod. Bethesda doesn't give a shit about mods. You know, they don't care about mods. They don't care about modders. They don't, unless they can milk from it. And like, even then, they don't even really care.
Meddling with Fallout 4 has done nothing but hurt it, in one of the worst times to do it. So in conclusion, Bethesda, leave Fallout 4...
Okay, so I'm curious. He says that the modding, the patching to...
No, it's
Let's
over.
listen to that
It's
again.
kind of like whether...
Breaking it. Your meddling with Fallout 4 has done nothing but hurt it, in one of the worst times to do it. So in conclusion...
Okay, so you say that, but can we... Like, I wonder if we actually get... If we could have some numbers, I bet the opposite would be the fact. I bet that if we could actually get some numbers on new sales of Fallout 4 and Fallout 76. Is Fallout 76 still like, do you still have to pay for Fallout 76? They didn't go like total free to play, right? If you could see the numbers on new purchases of Fallout 4 and Fallout 76 around the time of the season 1 of Fallout 4, of the Fallout show, I bet it would show the opposite of what he said. There was probably a spike in people buying it across platforms. Like, so to them, it didn't actually hurt Fallout. Again, those people have no idea about mods. They have no idea about the patches that break things. They don't actually care, even if they did know about it. They just bought the game to play it. It doesn't affect them. It didn't hurt Bethesda. They got your money already, person who mods. Like it doesn't matter. They're not trying to appeal to you. You know, and the thing is that there is, we get into another thing where there are still people, it's still, okay, yeah, so it's still charging for Fallout 76. So, like, there are still people who, even after this, will still buy Bethesda's product. That's another thing that I think Bethesda probably accounts for, is that it doesn't matter how many people bitch and complain about stuff like this. Oh, Bethesda broke all these fucking mods all these times. They broke my fucking 7,000 mod list. You know, oh, the games are this, that, and the other thing. They still fucking buy them when the new one comes out. So Bethesda doesn't give a shit. And until that changes, they will continue to behave as they have been.
Bethesda, leave Fallout 4 alone. You already did for a long time. Modders will fix it. It was the plan all along. And you have 76.
Fallout 76. Fallout 76.
Having to download extra software, a mod manager, manually installing mods would discourage most normies, 100%. There are people who don't care that for mods that still support, I keep reading, wanting to read Baldur's Gate as BGS's Baldur's Gate something, but no, it's Bethesda Game Studios. Like, I don't, like, again, they don't, like, this is aimed towards, this isn't like, I don't know, this does not...
76, Fallout 76, Fallout...
Yeah, he's trying to push Fallout 76. I get it. You can clip all the different times he said Fallout 76. Of course he's trying to push Fallout 76. The man runs a company. He's running a business. He's trying to sell copies of a video game.
76, Fallout 76, Fallout 76, like, really bad launch. Fallout 76. Right?
Okay. And that's the live service game. Fallout 4 was the game that you sold us a season pass and then got sued twice over it. You know the plan when you sold that season pass was to make your DLC and then leave Fallout 4 alone. Thanks for watching.
But, like, there is no expectation of that. Like, that, I don't get, like, that's what I mean, is that it's their fucking game. If they want to push an update every day that breaks the mods every day, they can do that. Is it bad idea? Yes. Should they do that? No. Like, but they could do that still. That's something they could do. There's no, like, expectation that when they finished releasing the I gotta switch to flat water. The bubbly water is just making me burp. There's no expectation that once a game is released and all the patches for fixing stuff and then all the patches and, like, updates for DLC are released, that the game's never going to get an update ever again. There's no expectation of that in any game. That happens all the time, not just in other games. Mods break all the time for other games that get updated all the time. Like, it's you know, it's not expected. That is an expectation that you made up in your own head. This one wasn't as bad as his other video. It was more to the point. Like, he actually got to his point, which was he should, like, okay, leave Fallout 4 alone, stop breaking it with patches. Okay. But, like, all these things, like, of him talking, like, oh, they have like, you should have left it alone. No, they don't have to leave it alone. Oh, they're, you know, this part about, like, that was so weird with the BBC part, and he's like, oh, they're making fun of him, memeing on him. No, they're not. Yeah, exactly. Pete Hines said it's their IP. They can do whatever they want with it. They don't care what the fans think. I don't agree with that. I do think that there is, especially when it's an IP you didn't make, Fallout, that there is some sort of responsibility to maybe keeping it to how it was. But, like, I think it would be good sense to, you know, listen to fans, and good sense to make sure that fans like what you're doing. But ultimately, yeah, if they wanted to, they could make the next Fallout game be, like, a complete, like, reversal. Like, completely, everything's just, like, and they could do it because they own the IP. Is it smart? No, but they could do it. What's his third video? He made one a day ago. Oh, look who's in the recommendation. Look who's in the recommendation. Hey, look who, ooh. I will say, the reason I actually found this guy's channel and his video, was I looked through my stats for my Fallout 4 video, and I saw that there was recommended videos, like, there were so many videos my video appeared next to, but the one that got the most views, and granted it was only like 1,500 views, was this one. And so I decided to look at it because it was like the top video. And I'm like, oh, that video sucked. And then it has the red guy is such a bore. You can't see it, but it highlighted it on my end because it said my name on it. So it is in bright red, mentions you. Yeah, okay, that one again, a lot of assumptions, a lot of just him declaring things and then never just like not ever backing them up. Better scripting, but even then, like he needs to. You don't be afraid of re-recording. If you stutter or if you fuck up a word or whatever, just record it again. Just record it again. That's fine. I also don't. Where was that other one where he like the fucking interview and that fucking drove me up the wall. Where it's like interview credit Eurogamer or IGN. Oh, anyway. Maybe okay. This one might not have as much to say about it. This is his Bethesda's Starfield problem. But my first don't say that. My first long playthrough of Starfield is going to be on Friday. I'm going to start it on Friday. So I don't know too much. Most of my experience with Starfield is from 2 hours I played when the game launched, and then just like osmosis from other content creators talking about it and other things I've seen on the internet. So if this is a bit too much into like the technicalities of Starfield as a game itself, which I don't think it will, I want to see. So this is Bethesda's Starfield problem.
I'm not done talking about Bethesda yet. It's not going to be this entire channel's life, but Bethesda has been a big part of my life for a long time.
Oh no, you
we've
showed
gotta
Fallout
talk
3.
about Starfield. But let's start with the good. So Bethesda Game Studios released Morrowind in 2002, Oblivion in 2006, Fallout 3 in 2008, Skyrim in 2011. Take a look at this. Do you notice anything? Newer Bethesda fans might be kind of blown away by this picture. They released 3 of their best games. Fallout 3 came out.
Okay, I want to ask fans of Morrowind, how much did that fucking burn? Him saying that Bethesda's 3 of their best games, and he highlighted Oblivion, Fallout 3, and Skyrim, and not Morrowind. I understand he's trying to make a point of the years, but like. What else? Let me look up. What else did I want to see? What other Bethesda's games? Bethesda Game Studios. What else did they release before that? Games developed. Oh, Morrowind was their first proper game, huh? And then they also made Professional Drag Racing. Cool. Okay, fine.
2 years after Oblivion, and Skyrim came out 3 years after Fallout 3.
Okay.
That's what happens when you have a dev studio that is just focused on making good games. And again...
Okay, well... See, okay, that is a useless sentence. That is a useless sentence. They are focused on making good games. Yes, I don't think that anyone sets out to make a bad game. Unless they're making a shitpost. Like... What the fuck do you mean? They're focused on making a good game. Yeah, of course they are. They want the game to sell. It's a business. These things are expensive to make, like, Jesus.
I'm not saying everything is great about these games, but especially for their time, they were something special.
No, they weren't. They were bad then. You were just fit. Skyrim was bad when it came out. We were all just 15. That's what the real answer is. Like, that's what it is. I was 15. No, 2011. I was 16, 17 maybe. Like, that's what it was. Like, fuck me. Like, that's we were all children. These games, we think these games were amazing for the time even because we were kids and they're nostalgic to us or whatever.
Years of each other. Anyway, moving on. We got Fallout 4 in 2015 and Fallout 76 in 2018.
It's our first major release in about 8 years.
Yeah. Oh, what was that, Todd? What was that? Oh, okay, so Fallout 76 wasn't really a major release then. Well,
they didn't even make it though. You even say that they don't make it. Like it's not. It's like it was made by Bethesda Austin. They didn't really do much of it.
In 2023, and this is the game we're going to talk about. So very quick history on the first time we knew about Starfield. 2013 with the ZeniMax trademark, updated in 2018, and then it was shown at E3 2018. E3 2018, what a fun one.
16 times the detail.
It began the 76 era, and it's where Bethesda first mentioned Starfield and the Elder Scrolls 6. Then nothing. So next came the Microsoft deal.
Okay.
These guys have been pals for a long time, and Microsoft really wanted that big, juicy Bethesda IP. You know, the Elder Scrolls and Fallout. But Microsoft thought, maybe Starfield? Real fast while we're talking about this. Microsoft buys ZeniMax for $7.5 billion.
Oh, now you use $7.5 billion. Good.
Starfield away from PlayStation. Doesn't make any new Elder Scrolls or Fallout. And they thought profit?
Okay, dude, I don't know what... I genuinely don't... Okay, do you not understand that they were making Starfield during this? Like, they were making Starfield. What do you mean? Like, and again, it's this, like, what is this, like, collective amnesia? People were excited for Starfield. Bethesda announced a new IP. Bethesda, the people who make Elder Scrolls and Fallout and all these big games with explorable worlds and all, they're making a science fiction game in their own universe, a new IP gonna be filled with cool, amazing shit for people to see. People were excited for it. People were excited for it. Sure, I wasn't at that point. I'm like, yeah, this is probably going to suck. But like most people, a lot of people were excited for it. People were interested in it. You know, I'd say I was hopeful that it was good because it's like, maybe this will be good. Maybe this will be something that kind of snaps them out of what they've done with Skyrim and Fallout 4. Like, what do you mean? And like, you wouldn't think that Microsoft would go, they're making a new IP. Hot fucking damn. Not only do they have these existing IPs that are well known, they're making a brand new one that is, might be like the next big thing. It could be amazing, like, because these guys have so much history and all this popular fan base and all this fanfare over their games. The next one, this new thing from them could be it could be like, look how much money Skyrim made for them. Is what was thinking. Look how much money look how many times they were able to sell that game over and over and over and over on every platform under the fucking sun. I don't understand. Like, this not make Elder Scrolls or Fallout. They were making a game. They were making Starfield. It's not like they were never going to make another Elder Scrolls game or Fallout game ever again. They work on one game at a time. That's even how your list shows them. They work on one game at a time. That's how they've been working since they were, like, started making games. Like, what do you mean?
Do they even like money? Anyway, we do have to touch on the Starfield delays. Originally meant for November 11th, 2022, delayed to early 2023, eventually released on September 6, 2023. More importantly, I want to talk about why Starfield was delayed. The theory online, or maybe even what they said, is to fix bugs, but I think Microsoft thought it was boring.
It's one of the best things about...
Okay, well... So the delays to Starfield is what they say was that it was to fix bugs. He says that he thinks that Microsoft thought it was boring.
The theory online, or maybe even what they said, is to fix bugs, but I think...
Oh, okay. Never mind. Scratch that. I read that wrong.
The theory online, or maybe even what they said, is to...
Okay, the theory online, or maybe even what they said, you couldn't have double-checked if that's what they said?
Fix bugs, but I think Microsoft thought it was boring.
Okay.
Things about Starfield, pointing at it. Play on work, on my PC, when I go home, I sit on my console and I go play, and it's just a continuous experience for me, and everything moves. It's fantastic.
Amazing.
Was that clip meant to convince me that Bethesda didn't think it was fun?
Thought give Todd and the boys a couple more years. I mean, they'll come up with something, right? So the Starfield marketing. This one I find kind of interesting. Everyone heard the whole Skyrim in space thing. Really dumb. There was 1,000+ planets to explore, lots of procedural generation, and it was their first new IP in 25 years. The marketing, to me, explains a really boring space game. If you could just ignore the Skyrim in space thing because everybody knew that was a lie. Looking at these bottom three, this looks terrible. And I'm not saying...
Okay, but like... I don't understand why new IP in 25 years looks terrible. Like, that's just accurate. Like, that was accurate. Like, that was an accurate statement. I too was kind of iffy about procedural generation, and then the Thousand Planets to Explore. It's like, well, it's not necessarily a different issue from like a lot of open world games, which it's like, oh, you have 8 billion kilometers to explore, and it's all boring.
Saying Bethesda shouldn't make a new IP. I'm saying you shouldn't take 8 fucking years to do it.
Why not? What the fuck does that mean? Okay, go one.
Because everybody knew that was a lie. Looking at these bottom 3, this looks terrible. And I'm not saying Bethesda shouldn't make a new IP. I'm saying you shouldn't take 8 fucking years to do it.
Why not? Like I don't get why I genuinely do not understand. One of the things in all 3 of these videos is he seems so hung up about how long it took to make the games. And I don't understand why. Because it honestly doesn't matter. Like how long did Silksong take to make? When was Silksong announced and when did it come out? Like it was originally going to be DLC for the fucking for the first game. They announced they grew in scope. They first announced it as a sequel in 2019. So it took them like 6 years. Does it matter how long the game took to make? That really doesn't matter. I'd say like things like delays can be something that kind of give me pause, because a delay could be a very good thing and a delay could be a horrible thing. A delay could be exactly what a game needs to get like good for launch, and a delay could be the worst possible, like, oh no, the game's a catastrophe. Cyberpunk. Starfield. FromSoft took 10 years to revive Armored Core. Granted, it probably didn't take them 10 years to make that game, but like franchises and games and like things take years. These things can take a long time. Like Duke Nukem Forever took a long time, and that was like a case of going back and forth and like different builds going and all this like stuff. Like it doesn't. Diablo 3, it took forever. I don't understand why he's so obsessed with the fact that it took 8 years to make Starfield. I don't think. I don't get, because that's the thing, is like God, with how bad I've seen Starfield is, if it was made in 4 years, it was probably what do you mean? Like, I don't get it. Like, it would have been a worse game. Like, what? Like, I want to. Okay, let's keep going.
But yeah, there was nothing exciting in this marketing, and people bought this game because of the Bethesda name. Everybody fucking knows that.
Okay, yeah, no shit, dude, no shit. People bought it because of the Bethesda name. It's a new IP. And, like, they thought, oh, it's Bethesda making a new IP in space. No shit, that's why they bought it. Like, I don't get it. You're the one who thinks that it would be funny. Like, in your other videos, you're like, oh, it would be amazing if Obsidian made a New Vegas remaster, or if they made New Vegas 2. It's like, aren't you doing the same thing?
With Starfield's release, oh, look out. Microsoft reported a 1 million concurrent player base. We can confirm 330,000 on Steam. It apparently made about $650 million and only cost about $200 million to make. So it did make money, apparently. I mean,
I've heard that all of these numbers are suspect. That the reported 1 million concurrent is and that the money is like, they're not, like, they I don't know. I've heard that it's not. I heard that it's potentially that it either just made some money, like made its money back, or made a profit, or maybe made like a marginal profit. AC was 5 to 7 years is even worse. We are mentioning mostly sequels to pre-existing IP. Starfield has issues, but it's brand new, not an adaptation, not a continuation. They didn't buy rights to something. It was a completely new thing. Is he aware how long that takes at a conceptual level alone? No, clearly not. And that's something, yeah. You know, when you have a pre-existing series with pre-existing written lore, with pre-existing designs of like places and things and people and enemies and creatures, it's easier than when you have to make something completely from the ground up, and it's like, okay, we have to name, every place needs a name, every place needs a design. We need to design what planet A is going to be like and what planet B is going to be like, and we have to get artists to do it, and then we have to get people to model it, then we have to get people to texture it, and then we have to put it all together into a game. We have to do this for all these different areas and all this stuff. It's not like, yeah, it's going to take a longer time in most cases to make a brand new IP than it is to make a continuation to something that already has a lot of its sort of, I guess you would say, iconography established. When making a Fallout game, for example, or an Elder Scrolls game, there are things that exist already that you can use as reference. You can use other concept art that you used in other, with other games. You can use other things and other lore and other bits to build on, and you can go from there. And that's essentially like one level essentially erased, or like at least cut down significantly. If you can like say, well, we don't need to necessarily like design what like dark elves are going to look like in our game because we know what they look like from all the other games. We don't have to have someone come in and do all these new design an entire thing and go like, oh, they're going to look like this, and oh, their hair is going to look like this, and the skin is going to look like this, and their eyes are going to be this color or whatever. Like, yeah, it takes a long time to do that from scratch. Yeah, and dev time, and that's the thing, is like dev times have been getting longer, and you could argue, especially with big games, they've been getting longer. They've been long for a while, but like that's sort of a norm. Games take usually 3 to 5 years to make.
Hats off to them. But Starfield did not capture the players. And this isn't anecdotal. We have evidence. Real fast, when you first look at this, doesn't this stand out? Especially when compared to this?
Okay, so the thing is... Wait, let's let him...
Yeah, you can compare any of them to the bottom one, and I mean, there is a clear standout here. That is a 98.7% drop. Ouch.
Okay, so the thing is, though, if we want to talk about what they want, like, again, I hope he addresses the peak player count, because one of them has the second highest peak player count, and it's Starfield. Like, at least now he is using the 24-hour peak, unlike the previous video where he wasn't using the 24-hour peak. He was using the players right now, which is kind of silly. Starfield was the second highest. Now, they were probably hoping for more, but that's a lot of fucking people. That means, at the very least, granted, I guess we have to count in we have to count in refunds and stuff like that, but that at the very least means they sold 330,000 copies on Steam. Refunds, people getting free keys would take away from that. That's still a huge fucking number. Yeah, less people are playing it now than the other games, but I don't think that longevity matters as much when you're not, again, it's not a live service game. It's not a live service game. It is a game that you play it, you start it, and you finish it, and then that's it. You only pay for it once, and that's it. That's how most games work. Now, if we compare here to, let's look at Fallout 76. Fallout 76's peak was 73,000 people, and now it's only at it was at a peak of 20,000. Nearly 21,000. Like, that's more relevant because it's a live service game. It's a game that they're continually working on and adding stuff to and having to pay for servers and stuff like that. So there's continual upkeep on them having 76, where they need people playing it, more people coming in and playing it and spending, buying shit in the item shop, etc. I feel like you're looking at the wrong, again, like you're looking at the wrong number again, dude.
Just get that off the screen. That is horrible. So I did a poll about Starfield. Did Starfield feel like a Bethesda Game Studios game? The standout is definitely there at the bottom. But even if we exclude that and just take the 50% on top, one word pops into my head. It's just clear indifference. People do not feel strongly about Starfield at all.
I don't know what you mean. Again, this is just PC. I know that on the side we have higher numbers than console, but they do exist. Again, there's no estimate. The best estimate is between 5 and 10 million. Like, that's, I don't know. I don't know if that's good enough compared. Like, again, if they're honest about how much it costs to develop the game, they probably made money on it then. Again, and if those numbers are honest, which is hard to get out, then yeah. But, and again, so like, let's look at the 50% of this poll that did play the game. 22% had said that it felt like a Bethesda game. 14% said it kind of felt like a Bethesda game. If you put the positive ones together, kind of and very much, 36% of the 50 that played the game said it felt like a Bethesda game. And again, I'm of the opinion that I'm going to think that Fallout 4, that Skyrim, that Starfield, Jesus, that Starfield is a Bethesda game. It's going to feel like a Bethesda game in that it's going to feel like a modern Bethesda game. It's going to be bad, and it's going to feel bad to play. Like, that's the thing, is that, like, I feel like people, like, you do realize that it's like, Bethesda games have been getting consistently worse. That is how they feel now. It's not like a fluke. It's that this is how they're making their games to be. And they end up as these fucking awful messes.
Difference. People do not feel strongly about Starfield at all. These were the top comments. I agree with all of them. Now,
okay, well, you could have put those on the screen a little longer than that.
These were the top.
It was a totally Bethesda-style game with all the cons and none of the pros. It looked like an incomplete game because they assumed the modding community... Oh, my God. I fucking hate... Oh, no, they didn't. They didn't. They didn't think that the modding community would do it for them. They don't give a shit about the modding community. Oh, my God. They got your money. They don't give a shit what modders do or don't.
Comments, I agree with all of them. Now, for me in a Bethesda game, kind of the main reason I play these games at all is for the exploration.
Oh, boy.
I would say I'm probably not the only one here. So if we compare exploration from pre-Starfield to Starfield, before it was walking, accidental, player-driven, and interesting. In Starfield, it is menus, fast...
Okay, wait. So again, what is he considers the pre-Starfield Bethesda exploration walking, accidental, player-driven, interesting. Okay. Walking. Sure. But I would argue that, like, the games are built around fast travel. Like, every game post-Morrowind is built around the player using fast travel. Sure, you have to walk there the one time, but they're about fast travel. And, like, it doesn't... And that's the thing, is, like, are you... Like, games can feel exploratory without... I don't know if that's the right word for this, but games can feel like exploration, have good exploration without walking. It's not necessarily the act of walking that is, like, makes them good. I hope he kind of explains more. I don't think he will, because I'm looking ahead. He does. What does he mean by accidental? What does he mean by accidental in terms of exploration? Like, does he mean... Is he using, like, the wrong word to describe, like, oh God, what's the word? Emergent? Is that the word he's trying to use? Emergent? Like, where it's like you didn't plan on this happening, you didn't plan on coming across, like, a certain bandit den, or, like, a random event, yeah, and that, I don't know, like, you know, player-driven, and it's like, yeah, I get, like, it has to be player, like, the game doesn't work when you're not playing it, and then the last one is probably the least useful, interesting. You have to define interesting. You have to say more than just interesting, because if you say, I didn't find this game interesting, I could just say, well, I did. Because the point markers are all over the place. Well, so the thing is that, like, I don't know, like, or what do you mean? Like, what is he? If it's honestly about, like, player driven, let's see what his negatives are. Does he have, like...
Interesting. In Starfield, it is menus, fast travel, and loading screens.
Okay.
When you got to your destination...
Wait.
Menus, fast travel, and loading screen.
Menus, fast travels, and loading screens. So I've heard there's a lot of menus and a lot of loading screens in Starfield. And I bet that that's fucking annoying. The previous games have had tons of loading screens. That's been an issue with the creation engine for fucking years. Fast travel? All these other games have fast travel. They all are built around fast travel. They're built around following markers. They're not built around sort of accidental exploration. You have the markers on the map. They show up when you get near to them. Like the only game that they've ever made that has had sort of like accidental, you can kind of walk and around and find things that like you didn't expect, and that also that don't expect you to just follow the marker mindlessly, was Morrowind. That was the only one.
When you got to your destination, before it was handcrafted, told a story, and there was something to do. In Starfield, it's generated, maybe a copy-paste structure, and then you just fast travel to the next. Again, I don't think any of this is a unique take, which is kind of why it's so baffling that Bethesda went down this road.
Okay, well, so it's like, yeah, I agree that I would prefer handcrafted over generated. I'm not going to argue that. I would say that in general, handcrafted is more enjoyable. So, told a story. Like, what is... Okay, so, do you mean just like... Again, are we going to talk about, like, Bethesda having skeletons with, like, a shotgun pointed at their dick? Is that, like, storytelling? You know what I mean? And, like, something to do. That... you need to be more specific, dude. You need to be more specific, because if I say, yeah, well, in Starfield you can shoot people at the places, that's something to do, technically. What do you mean by something to do? You could have said something more, that there was like, I don't know, oh God, you have to give more, a little bit more, please. These videos don't have to be that short.
I wonder why it's so baffling that Bethesda went down this road. How about the random encounters in
I was going to talk about random encounters.
Bethesda's older games? You can see they gradually go up with each game. How many does Starfield have? 22. How about...
Okay, so here's the thing, though.
You can see they gradually go up with each game. How many does Starfield have? 22.
Okay, so you now have to argue why it's... like, okay. What counts as a random encounter? Because if like a round... Because I know for fucking certain that a lot of the random encounters in Fallout 3 are literally just groups of enemies that spawn. It's literally like a group of Robo-Brains will attack you over the distance, a group of Protectrons, a group of Rad Scorpions. Those count as random encounters. So yeah, like not the greatest like to count, like again, and it's like, are we gonna, oh, is Fallout 76 good because it has 400 random encounters? Is it better?
How about locations? You can see Bethesda's old games have quite a bit. Starfield has about 23.
Okay, so could you not have found how many Fallout 76 has?
Starfield has about 23. Now, I know what you're thinking. How many planets do these games have? And I will say you have me, because these games only have one each. And Starfield has over 1,500. I just find it weird that all of these stats have been they've all been going in the other direction. Actually, there is a consistent stat in Starfield that has gone up with time, and it is dialogue. You can see dialogue for the previous games go up with time, and Starfield has 250,000 lines of dialogue. That's a lot. Can you remember any of them? Is there...
Okay, well, I can't argue this because I have not played much of it, but I'd argue that this is not a good... This is not a good thing to ask. Can you remember any line of dialogue from Starfield? Is not a good... I remember one line of this dialogue from Starfield when the guy at the beginning hands you the watch and he goes, it even tells the time, and it doesn't actually tell the time until you go into a menu. I remember that. You know, like, so here's the thing though, is that like okay, using like, oh well, I feel like this is like desperate to shit on Starfield, which fair, Starfield is not very good, but here's the thing though, is that like when you say like, oh, all these other games are better than Starfield because they have more random locations, more random encounters and more locations, and then Starfield has more dialogue, and you have previously established from your other charts that having more is better in general. And then here Starfield has more, and instead of going, well, then clearly it wins because more is better, you go, well, do you remember any of the lines from Starfield? It's like, well, what if I don't remember any of the lines from like Fallout 4 or Skyrim? Like, does that mean that it's bad now too?
Is there a single memorable line of dialogue in Starfield? I can't. We have to talk about the brand damage Starfield did, of course. I think it's reasonable to ask if Bethesda even knows why we like their games. You also have to wonder if they even care, because I mean, 76 and Starfield are apparently pretty monetarily successful. And
well, okay, so then obviously, then obviously the brand wasn't damaged as much as many people think. I don't think then if it's like, okay, does Bethesda know why we like their games? Do they even care? Where is Elder Scrolls 6 plus Fallout 5? It's like if you even admit that Fallout 76 and Starfield are successful, why does it matter? Like to them, like they like it clearly didn't damage their brand that much. My parent is in charge now. I have turbo cancer. Oh right, that's a good line. No, it's super AIDS, remember.
of course, my favorite
or
question
turbo
is,
AIDS.
where is the Elder Scrolls 6 and Fallout 5? And if I may talk about that for a second, Skyrim to Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be about 16 years. Fallout 4 to Fallout 5 is going to be about 8.
Okay, no, it's not. No, I don't know why, dude. Fallout 5 is gonna come out before before Elder Scrolls 6. You came. This video came out a day ago. They have said they're working on Fallout 5. They have everyone's on board for Fallout 5. Like, they're not, Fallout 5 is going to come out before Elder Scrolls 6.
13 years. GTA 5 to GTA 6, about 13 years. Maybe.
Oh, and we're comparing to GTA again. Why does it matter?
Be 14, who knows? The Last of Us to The Last of Us 2.
And now we're talking about The Last of Us.
1 to Uncharted
And now
4,
Uncharted?
9 years. Halo 1 to Halo 3, 6 years. Witcher 3 to Witcher 4, 12 years? 12 years about, maybe? Not to be clear, I think all of these are unacceptable. But
Why? Why? Oh my god! What is with this guy's obsession with how long games take to make? Especially, you're comparing The Witcher 3 to The Witcher 4. Fucking The Witcher 4 was, like, they were making Cyberpunk for, like, the better part of a decade. Do you not understand that? These companies don't have infinite manpower. They have to usually work on a single project at once. They have to work because there is, especially with games as big and as spanning as these, which I know the whole argument about AAA and like, I get it. I get that there's issues with it. But as it is, when they make these games, these huge fucking games with so much art that has to be done, so many things that have to be modeled and textured, so much voice acting, so much writing, so much programming, all this shit, it takes sometimes hundreds of people to do it. And these devs don't have thousands of people working for them often. And they have to go, okay, it's better than, trying to do 20 things at once. We're going to focus 90% of our people on this game. And then when it's close to being finished, we'll start shifting people over to work on pre-production for whatever we're doing next. So we're going to work with The Witcher 2. Witcher was also the end of the series for them until they decided to make a sequel. It was the end. Oh, thank you for subscribing again, Cyber. Thank you. The Witcher was done. Geralt's story was over, apparently. That was it until they made a new one, until they wanted to make a new one. And the thing is that it's so disingenuous to say, oh, there was 12 years between The Witcher 3 and The Witcher 4, when they're forgetting that in that a good chunk of those 12 years, they were making a completely different game that was fucking enormous and a mess, but it was a huge title. It was fucking people were so excited for it. It was a huge fucking thing. You can't compare the two. And going to Halo, did Bungie make anything else between Halo 1 to 2? They made Halo 1, then they made Halo 2, and then they made Halo 3. Between Fallout 4 and Fallout 5, you're forgetting that they made Starfield. They made Starfield. You might not like it. You might not think it was a good idea, but they did. That's just how time works. And same with this. Between Skyrim and, you're going to say, you're saying 16 years. They made Fallout 4 and Starfield and probably Fallout 5. What are you talking? Why are you so obsessed with these numbers?
I can promise you one thing. The two that are going to take the longest are probably going to be worse. We got it.
Okay. That's not necessarily true. Granted, the longer the development takes, the more I do get worried, but that's not necessarily true. Why I think the ones here on this list are going to be the worst is because they're being made by Bethesda. They're being made by Bethesda. Has nothing to do with how long it took to make. It has to do with the developers making it. Bethesda has consistently made worse and worse games over the years. These games are going to be the same thing because they can't seem to learn. When you look at the thing like Starfield or like Fallout 5, they're gonna make bad games because they've been making bad games, not because they took a decade and a half to make them. Big numbers make me smarter. ML. Yeah, I saw that. I'm waiting for that. Bethesda, 450 staff. Naughty Dog, 500 plus. CD Projekt Red, 850. We're doing this. Let's get into all of it. Size, scope. Well, again, that's the thing, is that it's very simple. Like, he's looking literally at how, like, these are completely different companies with who knows how different their staffs are during the time that these games were made, how many people they had working on it, what their other priorities might have been, the fact that there are, in many of these cases, specifically with Skyrim and with Bethesda at the top, and then with CD Projekt Red, there were projects in between these games coming out. It's not like they worked just on Witcher 3 and went straight to Witcher 4, or went straight from Skyrim to Elder Scrolls 6 or Fallout 4 to Fallout 5. They did other things, and there's the whole thing of like, they had, who knows how many people they had working on it, who knows how many teams they have at the company, who knows how much money they had, and how much manpower in other ways. Like, you can't just look at the amount of time it took to make a game. That's so simplistic. Like these things, like, it's these games are not something where you just like, it's not like a loading screen where okay, I'm making a game now. I'm making the game. Here we go. I just got to wait for the loading bar to go up to 100. Oh, it's going to take 10 years on this one. Like, fuck me, I don't know. And every single one of these 3 videos he's made, he goes on about how long it's taken to make these games. And it's like, this is like the worst frame of argument to criticize Bethesda. Criticize Bethesda because the games are shit. And because of these things. I don't think it's necessarily because of how long it's taken for them to make it, because it seems that they make shit even in the games in between. Fallout 4 was shit. Starfield was shit. Skyrim is not looked upon as fondly as it was back in the day. Many people consider it to be like the sort of point where, like, that was like the cliff was Skyrim, in terms of the quality. That's where it started to go down. Like, you can criticize Jesus. I can't think of any justifiable reason why it took Bungie 3 years to make Halo 2 from 1. It couldn't possibly be that the game is literally less than a tenth of the fucking size. And that's also another thing, is that a lot of these games are RPGs, fantasy RPGs apparently, and granted these are like guesswork, these games aren't out. I guess you would say like open world action adventure games. Last of Us are third person, like Uncharted-esque kind of like story games, same Uncharted third person games. Halo are first person shooters that are our thing. The Witcher is, again, these games aren't. Skyrim was the first step for the modern open world design. That's probably one of them. They're up there with sort of some of the Ubisoft titles. Like, these are completely different games. Like, for example, Halo 1, 2, and 3 are relatively short games. Like, they're not very long games because they're just, like, they're first-person shooters. They take what? I'm trying to think, for, like, a first-person playing it, like, first time playing the game, it probably takes between 8 to 12 hours for most of them. Halo 1's pretty short. They're linear shooters. That's not like a criticism. That's what they are. They are shooters where you go through linear levels where there's a start and a finish. You don't do much exploration. You follow the path and you progress over the obstacles that are presented to you, which are groups of enemies. And you use your guns to shoot them. Simple. Like, it's going to take a lot less time to make a game like that than a game that is an enormous, like, open world game, something like a Witcher, where, okay, we have to design all these huge fucking worlds, and there's all these, like, points of interest that the player can go to out of order, and we have to make sure all that's sort of filled out. Like, man. Yeah, they're following a set story. The rest of these are massive open worlds that needs hundreds, if not thousands, more development time due to scale. Again, the scale alone. Yes, that's a good. It's the worlds are just bigger. It's going to take more time to make more things. Like that's just how it works. I do not understand the obsession. I genuinely do not understand the obsession with the time. Let's. It's the next thing he posts is Emil. So here we go. Let's see what his criticism of Emil Pagliarulo is. I want to know what he thinks of Emil.
Longest are probably going to be worse. We got to talk about Emil. He's been the lead designer.
Okay, I'm gonna. His name is Emil. You think it's pronounced Emil? No, it's Emil. He pronounces. I think that's the way he himself says it. It's Emil. Emil Pagliarulo. That's how it is. It's not Emil. I know everyone thinks it's Emil. That's what it looks like. No, it's Emil.
Talk about Emil. He's been the lead designer and or writer on every Bethesda Game Studios game since Fallout 3.
Was he a lead designer / writer on Skyrim? I don't remember if he was. I don't remember. Okay, he was senior designer and writer, from what I can see. I don't know if there's any other thing, but he was pretty high up. Okay, so.
Sometimes he does both, sometimes he does one. And he thinks we like building shacks. It is a good possibility that Emil is bad at his job.
No. I'll point it out. Emil is bad at his job. The man is an atrocious writer. Emil is a first draft guy. Emil is a man who gets so excited about the first draft he wrote that he doesn't want to go back and change it. So much of Fallout 4 in particular is like first draft material. If you've ever written any sort of fiction, you know that when you start to write something, when you first do your first draft, it can be really exhilarating. It can be so exciting to see the thing you've kind of made up in your mind become like real, even if it's on paper, even if it's just on a computer screen. But when you start seeing like the descriptions you've written about worlds or the interactions between characters or their conversations, when you see that start to become real when it was just something in your head, it's really cool to see. It's really amazing to see. But the thing is that your first draft is going to be really, really rough, even if you are a skilled writer, because you're literally coming out of nothing. You have to go back and you have to look it over and you have to say, okay, we need to make this better. I need to work on this. This could be cut. This could be fleshed out more. Okay, I thought of this as the motivation for the protagonist. This is the motivation for the villain, but I want to do a little bit more with that. Let's put some more meat on the bones kind of thing. Emil is the guy who gets so caught up in his first draft that he's like, it's great. I love it. It's amazing. I love it. I love my script. I'm done. And that's it. And then you get things like the Institute, where you have this big evil organization who doesn't have an explanation for why they're doing the things they're doing. And it's because it was a first draft, because Emil just was so excited with his idea of the Institute. Oh, they're under MIT and they're making synths. And they're replacing people in the wasteland for the synths. And oh my God, their leader is actually your son. Oh, that's a fucking great reveal. And that was it. That's as far as it went. And then he realized, oh fuck, why are they doing this? Oh, we're gonna have to we have to figure this out. We have to, or we have to give it's going to involve having to deal with, and that's the thing, is that as you sort of build more on like a rough surface of a first draft, it becomes harder to untangle those knots. It becomes harder to go back and fix things because you end up having like a chain of causality where that one thing you set up poorly has now affected all these other things downstream of it, and you have to fix all of that. And that's a lot of work. So what a lazy writer does is just not address it And that's what he did. And as you said, yeah, Ribbon, the player's dislike of the story, he treats that not as an issue with his story, he treats that as the players not liking stories. When no, we like stories in games, but they have to be good stories, and you didn't write that.
It's even possible that he's a big reason for Bethesda's downfall, but he is also human. Fucking woe is me. Okay, first of all, you understand, Mr. Drawn Out, that ML is bad at his job, but you couch it in, it's a good possibility. I don't want to say definitively that he's bad at his job. I don't want to get anyone upset or mad at him. I'm just going to say he may, please, and then he goes, what does he say? It's even, I keep dragging the subtitles. It's possible that he's a big reason for Bethesda's
It's even
downfall.
possible he's a big reason. Just say it, dude. Just say that you think he's bad at his job. He's not going to fucking hurt you. He's not going to do anything. Like, what the fuck? Why do you don't know him. He's just some person. And this next sentence.
But he is also human.
Okay, yeah, no shit. I didn't think Emil was a fucking AI. I didn't think he was a robot. I didn't think he was a fucking alien. I know he's human. Humans can be bad at their job. Humans can do things poorly. And the thing is that Bethesda is not giving this game out as charity. This isn't like an oopsie daisies or something like, they're asking for money for these things. They're selling these as products, and he makes bad products. He's human. He should be better at his job. Again, I'm going to go back to it. It's the first one of the night. It's a food analogy. Food analogies are great. Everyone eats food. Everyone can understand food. Imagine your chef, the chef at a restaurant, serves you a burger, and it's completely raw in the center. And then he comes out, and then some fucking retard comes out and goes, but the chef is human. The chef fucked up and didn't cook my burger and served me raw ground beef. Like, what the fuck do you mean? He charged me $15 for this. What the fuck do you mean? He's human. Yeah, no shit. He fucked up. He did something poorly. And if you consistently are performing poorly at your job, maybe you shouldn't be doing that job. No shit, he's human. Yeah, he's human. He's also really bad at his job. They put so much work. Yeah, exactly. They put so much work in. It's so hard. Yeah, I know. It's fine if a company has high and lows, but it doesn't mean should stop criticizing them. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes game studios put out good games, and then they put out a bad game. Or a game has a lot of good spots, but then there's one or two spots that are really rough, and they're clearly not as good as the other parts, whether it be an actual location, or an interaction, or a mechanic. But you don't stop criticizing them because of that. And you can't get away with this only human defense. I'm only human. It's like, you killed my what's it called? You killed my father in surgery because of you were drunk while performing surgery. I'm only human. These are arguments that I don't understand. It's so prevalent in media, but it's especially prevalent in video games, where people are so willing to just be like, but the developers tried. Do you know how hard it is to make a game or a movie or a TV show? And it's like, this doesn't happen in any other form of anything. Any other transaction, anything else. Is that The Last of Us 2 reference? I never played The Last of Us 2, so I have no idea. It might have been accidentally. If you again, you go to the store and you buy a product from a shop and the product is bad, it breaks, it's just not a good product, you return it to the store, and they don't go, but I worked really hard to make this. You go to any food, again, food is the best. Food is the perfect analogy for this shit. You go to you go to the pizzeria, and there's just hair all over your pizza, and you say there's hair all over this pizza, we're not eating it. They don't go, we want our money back. They don't go, oh, you don't know how hard it is to be a chef. I gotta be making the dough and putting in the, oh, come on, man. It's like, you didn't give me this pizza for fucking free. I paid for this under the assumption I wasn't gonna get hair all over it. You know, ugh. It so pisses me off that it's like, in the gaming industry, in the gaming people, even like, and it's worse when, I can understand developers being like pricks about it, and like people like journalists being shills for the developers. But when people who buy the games, the people who actually play games, will like just bend over backwards to defend shitty practices or like game studios making shit games, and it's like, what do you like? You're paying money for this, and you're willing to just like accept the shit because like, oh, they worked hard, or oh, I like the studio. Like, come on. Where's your self-fucking respect? They just bilked you for like upwards of $80, $90 for a game that is shit. And there you are saying, oh, well, you don't know how hard it is to make a game.
I kind of see it like this. Bethesda Game Studios has 4 locations and about 450 employees. Probably more, who knows. And so I ask, does Emil need to do both of the very important jobs of these games? Does he need to be the lead designer and lead writer? I mean, I guess I'm not a game developer.
Oh, no, don't say that. Oh my God, stop it, man. I interrupted your sentence, but like, don't. I guess I'm not a game developer. It's like, well, again, we'll go. Oh man, the fucking steak is raw. But, like, I guess I'm not a chef, so I can't comment on that, you know?
It just doesn't make sense to me. Now, I know a lot of people would prefer Emil to do neither of these jobs. The problem is that Emil made it extremely easy for people to single him out.
Let's say, okay, we're gonna...
Okay, but, like, the thing is that Emil is like, okay. Emil was the lead designer for Fallout 4 and writer, I believe. He is the only credited writer, I believe, for Starfield. It's his fault. If he wants to put himself in those, if he wants to have those titles and work in those things and be the one in the credits that is like, yeah, I did this, you are painting that target on yourself, boy. You don't get to be like, you know, oh, it's like, no, this was like, again, there is a point, especially in big companies, the buck stops somewhere, and it's going to stop with the person who has a fancy title and ends up in the credits. Like, it's his fault, or it's Todd's fault, or it's both of their faults, but you can't just, like, they are management and or directors or senior this, that, or the other thing. They get the blame. Oh God, like it's like a movie thing, like where with movies, oftentimes the director gets the blame because the director is the one who has the title of director. So it doesn't matter if everything else is shit, it was the director's fault often because they're the one with the big shiny title. And you got to have that for game development. When like, you know, these, like, he isn't just like a cog in the machine, Emil. He's like the lead. He wrote almost all of Starfield's like lore and history. It was that sort of stuff. There was a point where he wrote like some fucking religious tripe for his like his universe for Starfield that apparently on Twitter he said that it made him have like a fucking religious, like an existential crisis. Like, so if you get to say that shit, people will get to make fun of you and blame you when the shit you write is garbage.
Write the great American novel. It's going to be this thick. And on every page will be...
We have all seen this.
Comedy and tragedy, and it'll be wonderful. It'll be amazing. And you're going to give this book, this great American novel, to the player. And what are they going to do with it? They're going to...
See, that's what I mean. This is what I'm going to say. He thinks... This isn't him saying, oh, this is what you're going to do. This is him projecting. He thinks he wrote the great American novel. When he wrote Fallout 4, he thinks he wrote a story that was so good that it was like a fucking, it was what's his name? It was a Mark Twain book. It's the next fucking Huckleberry Finn. It's the next To Kill a Mockingbird. That's what he thinks he fucking wrote. And when everyone went, this is shit and garbage, and I would rather be building wasteland shacks than engaging with it, he went, instead of reflecting and going, oh shit, maybe I wrote something bad, he went, they don't know what good stories, they're not, I couldn't, is it the children or is it me? Oh, it couldn't possibly be me. You know, it's clearly the children's fault. Like, that's what he did. So yeah, you know what? He doesn't get enough flack. It's only in the last couple of years he's been, since like Starfield, that he's actually been getting anywhere near as much criticism for how bad the shit he makes is. He doesn't get enough of that shit because it's been going as far back as Skyrim, as far back as Oblivion. He didn't even admit it. He doesn't listen to the criticism, which is always a really good, a sign of someone who is really, really, really not self-conscious.
And make paper airplanes out of them. And they're going to throw them around the room. And they're never going to see your story. Because the story is there, right? But they are going to spend 30 hours making shacks.
I mean, that's just a disaster. I have to imagine
Yeah,
he
fair.
didn't expect that to get out. I don't know. But this,
I think he thought that was going to get out, dude. That was at a pub. That was filmed at a big game development conference in what was it, Denmark? I'm pretty sure that was going to get out. That's not like something that was going to be hidden. Thank you, Cyber. Oh, good. Oh, here's Emel's fucking cope fucking horseshit. Oh my god. Oh, hate. Where if I hate. Oh, if every fucking nerve ending in my entire body was etched with the word hate, it would still not be 1% of the hate I feel for this fucking tweet thread. You know, these people disconnected from the reality of game development. They speak with complete authority. I mean, I guess I could take what it means to make a hostess Twinkie, but what the hell do I know? Not a lot. You know, again, replace this with cooking. Replace this with cooking. It's funny how disconnected some restaurant goers are from the realities of cooking in a restaurant, and they speak with complete authority.
was very public when he was defending
he just blasts through them. I'm not going to bother. I've gone through this before. Everyone knows it. It's a couple years old by now. He fucking spews out all this cope about how, oh, you can't be mean to me in my game. Do you know how hard I worked on it? Again, I like how this guy is he's appealing to like the labor theory of value. Oh, I worked hard on this thing, therefore it was good and valuable. No, you made shit. I don't care how long and hard you worked on it. It's bad. Food critics are never chefs, and they're often very right, good or bad reviews. Yeah.
Starfield on Twitter. You could pause.
Because it's, again, I don't know how to direct a movie. I can tell when a movie is bad. I don't know how to write, like, a fucking play. I can tell when a play is bad. I don't know how to direct a television show. I can't cook you a Michelin star meal. But if you serve me a bad meal, I can certainly tell you it's bad. If you serve me something and it's fucking ice cold in the center, I can say that it's bad. And you can't just go, well, what do you know about cooking? I could be like, nothing. I've never cooked in my life. This isn't supposed to be cold.
If you want to read any of them, again, I'm not trying to like specifically pick on this guy.
Okay, you're not trying to specifically pick on this guy. You have an entire section in your video titled Emil, where you say that he's probably the reason why the games are bad and probably the reason why Bethesda are going down. You show a clip from his infamous fucking like ridiculous fucking presentation at that game developers conference, and then you go and show his like tweet meltdowns of him saying, oh, you don't know how hard it is to make a game, and then you say you're not trying to specifically pick on this guy. Just say you think he is bad. You think he is bad at his job. It's fine to say that. It's fine. You should say that if that's what you think. There's no reason why you should be like censoring your own opinions or not saying it. This is so weird that you have an entire segment on this guy. Oh, I'm not trying to pick on him. You just talked about him for 2 minutes. You know, like, What do you mean?
My advice to Emil would be to please have more faith in the fans of your franchises.
No, my advice to Emil would be either write better or find another job because you suck.
It's so hard to say. Just please.
That is so hard to say. Why?
Please trust us more. We don't, not all of us just love building shacks, bro. Write that great American novel if you can do it. Just a couple.
You don't understand. He did. Fallout 4 was his great American novel.
Other things Emil said that is like just out of touch.
Oh, here we go. What is this one? I don't know if this one. Starfield is. I think in a lot of ways, Starfield is the hardest thing Bethesda has ever done. We pushed ourselves to make something totally different, to just jam into the just to jam into an Xbox, the biggest, richest space simulation RPG anyone could imagine. That we pulled it off makes Starfield something of a technical marvel. It's also in a lot of ways the best game we've ever made, but for us, most importantly, Starfield has its own unique personality and now sits right next to Elder Scrolls and Fallout.
He thinks that Starfield sits.
People don't like being blunt at all. I like it, and it's just like. See, you know what? I understand. I think people should be more forthright about their opinions, especially when it's like you just did you're doing like a 2-minute long part. It goes on for like another couple, let's say 2-3 minute long part about Emil, doing everything you can to criticize him without like saying that you think he is bad at his job. When that's clearly what you think. It's like it reeks of like cowardice. Just say you don't think he's good. Just say you don't think he's good. Or if you don't want to broach this subject at all because you don't want to you don't want to, I don't know if I want to get, then don't bring it up. But you put this in your video. It feels so weird where you're like, oh, I don't want to pick on him, but I think he's bad. Oh, I don't think, he says all these ridiculous things, but, just say you think he's bad at it. He's just some random game developer. He's just a random game developer. He makes a game. He's not doing this out of the goodness of his heart. Bethesda charges money for you. Charges money for you to buy these games. This isn't like your friend is like making something on the side and like you don't think it's very good, but like he's just doing it and it's like fun, and so you don't want to hurt your friend's feelings too much. This is someone selling you a product. Like, when you buy some shit off of Amazon and you get it and it, like, falls apart within a week, you don't go, oh, man, it must have been really hard for them to make that. You go, fuck this, I want my money back. And you try, and you write your 1-star review that says, this is shit, it fell apart. Like, I don't understand why with video games you're not allowed to do that, or with media in general, it seems. You're just not allowed to say that you think something is bad and you think that the people who make it have no talent or are not good at what they do. Just say it. You are paying for these fucking things. Games cost so much. They've gotten so expensive over the last couple years. You have a right. You have a right. You have a right. You are entitled, the entitled gamer. When you pay that money, you are entitled to certain things. And you are entitled to give your honest critiques about the people who made the game and the quality of the game itself. You paid money for it. Fuck. Christ almighty, just fucking be honest. Just say it.
Right next to Fallout and the Elder Scrolls, which I mean, if we just look at it. I mean, do you really think Starfield sits next to these games? It's just fucking stupid.
Well, I think Emil thinks that because Emil made it.
Other fun examples is Bethesda replying to Steam reviews. I don't know, this has to be a chatbot. It's crazy. Let's talk about some ex-developers from Bethesda. So Nate Perkypile. What a fun name. He was a
I will say Perkypile is a fun name. Yeah, that's right. Nate Perkypile. That's a good name. That is what I would call a fun name.
Bethesda. Worked on gems such as Fallout 3 and Skyrim.
Oh, worked on gems like Fallout 3 and Skyrim. I think, you know what? I want someone who's like, yo, Skyrim is so good. When was the last time you played it without a single mod installed? And I would not be surprised if the year they give is 2012.
Also worked on Fallout 4. He left during Starfield. He said the team got too big, too many meetings, and he thought he could make his own games. Turns out he did. He made his own game by himself. But all of this just reinforces the idea that Bethesda has become far too big and corporate. They're not.
I don't know what people are like. The thing they were making bad games before whenever you think they became too big and corporate. They've been making bad games again, depending on who you ask. As far back as Oblivion, they've been making bad games. Like people are like, there are a lot of people who are of the opinion that Morrowind is like the only good game that they've ever made, and I would argue, yeah, maybe. I would say like Obsidian is like palatable. Skyrim like was fun at the time, but again, I would never play it without without mods nowadays, which at the point it's like I'm not even playing Skyrim anymore. I'm playing like a weird open world like Dark Souls before Elden Ring, you know, without a single mod. Yeah, 360 days, didn't even buy it on PC till last year. Yeah, exactly. Like that's the thing, is that people who are so on, the people who are like, yeah, Skyrim was great, fall into two categories. People who still think Skyrim is like an amazing game fall into two categories. People who still play it to this day, but they play it with like a 17,000 mod list, and like that takes 30 minutes to start running. Or it's people who haven't played it since like the Xbox 360, and they're just like coasting off their memories from high school.
Not that fun game studio anymore, and they have not updated their processes internally in order to really represent that size difference. Bruce Nesmith was a lead designer on Skyrim. He left in 2021.
I like how it translated Bruce Nesmith to Bruce Nesmouth. That's me, I'm Nesmouth.
He has criticized the use of procedural generation at Bethesda. I wonder what game he was talking about there. He says it isn't what made Bethesda successful. He much prefers working on handcrafted worlds, and he is worried for the Elder Scrolls 6. Aren't we all? So Kurt called it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, this like I agree. Yeah, these devs have real like have made honest opinions and like or real genuine. Yeah, these are going to be issues. Yeah, sure, I get it. So the question I have is that a lot of these guys were there when they were still making bad games, and why didn't you do anything then?
He is the former lore master for the Elder Scrolls. He claims Todd promised him the lead designer on
this was
Elder Scrolls
recent.
6 after Skyrim released. He says it was supposed to come after Fallout 4. Of course, instead we got 76 in Starfield. Kurt claims that Todd eventually gave the Elder Scrolls 6 lead to someone else, and he also criticized communication during Starfield's development. And this one is just kind of sad. He said he was waiting 11 years to be the lead on the Elder Scrolls 6. So moving on, we have Shattered Space. This released on September 3rd, 2024, which was about a year after release. I mean, you know I love comparisons. So if we compare that to Fallout 4, 9 months after release, we had Automatron, Wasteland Workshop, Far Harbor, Contraptions, Vault-Tec Workshop, and Nuka World.
And all of these suck.
Hey, I mean, 3 of those were actually worth playing.
No, they weren't. All 3 of those, all of 5, like Wasteland Workshop, Contraptions, you just build shit. Automatron is like a 3 quest line that is just to explain the building shit. Far Harbor is more of Fallout 4. If you like the base game, you probably liked Far Harbor, but it is nowhere near as much of an improvement as many people seem to think it is. And Nuka World might be the worst thing they've ever made for Fallout.
Starfield, 1 year after release, we have Shattered Space.
You have comparisons with around 10% of the relevant space like a moron.
Not worth playing. It bumped the
Shattered Space. So you have a list of, I love comparisons.
9 months after release, we had Automatron, Wasteland Workshop, Far Harbor, Contraptions, Vault-Tec Workshop, and Nuka World. And hey, I mean, 3 of those were actually worth playing. For Starfield, 1 year after release, we have Shattered Space. Not worth playing.
What is this comparison? They made more content for Fallout 4 than they did for Starfield in a shorter amount of time. I would argue that all of these are not very good. So, what is your point? They made more bad things. And, if Shattered Space is garbage, which I have not heard anything good about that, I heard it was just, who gives a shit? What do you, I don't, if they produced more, it would be bad. So, I don't know what you mean. Why is it that bad that, you say Starfield is bad. You say here that this isn't worth playing. It's not, it's bad. Why is this a comparison that, they released more content for this previous game? And what is that? What are we trying to say? Like what do you wanted them to release more content? Like they're like I don't know what you're
It
whatever.
bumped the player count up about 5,000 from August to a healthy 22K. You can see that bump right here.
Please.
It's right
I don't
there.
need Vivaldi to come back from the grave and kill me.
Yeah, you can see how that went. So Starfield 2.0. There is absolutely nothing confirmed by Bethesda. The community has made this name up, and I'm sure there will be more updates, but Bethesda hasn't claimed some big overhaul or anything. So if you enjoy Starfield, good, I'm glad someone does. This is nothing personal. We both want the same thing. Can we just agree that
just say you think it's bad. I hate like this fucking like you have to have like a fucking like it's nothing personal. It's like what the fuck do you mean nothing personal? Like what like oh my god, why would it be like if you take criticism of something you enjoy, like a piece of media you enjoy personally, what is wrong with you? like I don't fucking like if you enjoy Starfield, good. Nothing personal. We want the same thing, good Bethesda Game Studios games. If someone liked Starfield, if they think Starfield is a good game, let me be specific. If they think Starfield is a good game, what they want from Bethesda is completely different from what you would want from Bethesda. And if you don't think it's a good game. Was that an active player count over the time period of the graph? I don't even know. I got scared by Vivaldi. I'm going to mute it and let's see what it says. He's like pointing out the bump that it got from Shattered Space.
It's right there. Yeah, you can see how that went. So Starfield 2.0.
I will say player counts for single player games, current player counts for single player games are usually not a good, like it's a very easy thing to make fun of, but the thing is that a single player game, you play the game, you finish it, and that's it. Most people do not play a game more than once. They do not go back to games. So using the current player count doesn't really do much. I just like it,
There is absolutely nothing confirmed.
Right,
by
said,
Bethesda.
right.
Can we just agree that it took too long? And
Whoa,
this
skip
came
me.
up, and I'm sure there will be more updates, but Bethesda hasn't claimed some big overhaul or anything. So if you enjoy Starfield, good, I'm glad someone does. This is nothing personal. We both want the same thing. Can we just agree that it took too long?
I genuinely do not understand what his obsession with how long these games are, like what, like why does he, like what, it took 8 years to make Starfield. I don't know, like if they made, let's say they made, instead of making Starfield in those 8 years, they made Fallout 5 or Elder Scrolls 6, and it came out and it was just as bad as Starfield is in like reality, like how it is. It's like what does it matter? Like what does it matter how long it took? The game is bad. If they took 8 years and it came out and it was great, would you still be saying it took too long? Like what is your obsession with time?
And real quick, I just want to remind everyone that all of these games had Todd Howard as the lead.
Yeah, okay, we all know that.
So if you enjoyed any of these games, as much as we meme on Todd, I think the games were better when Todd was more involved. The less Todd got involved, the worse the games got.
But like that's holy shit. That might be the fucking craziest take of all, like, because everything I have seen from, it's like Todd was not like the sculptor. He wasn't like the architect like making the like he had people under him who were talented. And again, depending on who you ask, of this list of 6 games, many people would say that there's only one that is good. Maybe 2. Maybe some would give like these 2, and maybe Skyrim, maybe they would say Skyrim maybe is like the tipping point. They might include Fallout 3. Like, and the thing is that like Todd has been like a notorious fucking liar about his games, about the content in them, about what they're going to do and what they're going to achieve as far back as at least Fallout 3, probably Oblivion. Like, you know, and the thing is that everything I've read about, from what I've seen from other people's content covering games like Starfield and other things I've seen over the internet and of like developers and stuff, thank you for following, is people will talk about how Todd is no longer as accessible. Bruce Nesmith, who they brought up, or who Mr. Drawn Out here brought up, Bruce Nesmith brought up in one video interview he did, that Todd became less and less, I believe it was Bruce Nesmith, I think it was, Todd became less and less available. He had to do so many other things, and it's not that it was missing Todd's magic touch, it was missing management. It was missing someone who can say, we're doing this, we're not doing this. We're doing it like this, we're not going to do it this way. And so you would have all these people who are like, okay, well, we need to ask Todd still for final approval, but Todd is doing all this other business shit, and he doesn't have the time to like come in and say like which quests are going to be done or how we're going to do this mechanic or whatever the fuck. And that led to the issues with things like Starfield, where you have all these designs and all these mechanics that feel orphaned because they could not be put together or implemented in ways outside of just like what 1 or 2 developers or a small team could do. And it was a lack of like leadership, of a leader, of like, you know, not necessarily like Todd's magic touch was gone. It's that like everyone didn't have anyone like, you know, being a manager.
Much as we meme on Todd, you can
I
join
think that's
tier
it.
1 for $1.
Right, that's it. So that was all 3 of the videos of Drawn Out of his channel. And he did well. That first video he did, he's got 35K subs. That first video he did had 1 million views. And I don't know why, because it was like the first one, the Rockstar, Bethesda thinks they're Rockstar, didn't have like a point. He didn't actually point out why Bethesda thinks they're Rockstar or why they aren't, or like very weird. And then in these other ones, he says just some bizarre things, and like I don't get it. I really like those. That was, you know, these are first draft videos. I feel like these are first draft videos. This guy is really running these out quick, and he's not taking time to go over and like redraft his things. I think the one thing he chronically does in all 3 of his videos is make assertions and like declarative statements, and then proceed to not give any sort of evidence or even just like conjecture about why he thinks it is the way it is. You know, he will say something like Bethesda thinks they're Rockstar, and then that's it. He will just assume that. You know, he'll say insane stuff like Bethesda didn't expect the Fallout show to do well. They had no expectations for the Fallout show. Based on what? Like, can you even find any evidence of that? Can you like you could even like make you can even draw assumptions or conclusions based off of like your own thing. It's like, I think that, you know, even if there is no like objective like on video thing or like on like record thing of someone saying we have no expectations or we don't expect it to do well, you could say something like, oh, well, we don't expect, like, I don't think Bethesda expects the TV show to do well because, well, if you look at this, they didn't do this. If you look at that, they didn't do that. You know, oh, they did this, but they didn't say this. You know, it's not like you could make an argument. And you could go, well, you know, I'm not 100% certain about that, but you do make some good points, or no, you're wrong, or yes, I agree with you. Like that, but like instead he just makes the assumption and then runs with it. You know, that one in the previous video where about Leave Fallout 4 Alone, where the fucking interview he has, the Todd interview he uses a clip from, where Todd goes huge. and like they go, oh, this is the BBC memeing on you because it was like, what do you mean? The guy the interviewer asked a question and Todd gave a response. And it's like, you're drawing out a conclusion from that is like, what? Are you sure that's a read? Like, that's your read of that? Yeah, I would say, yeah, Todd Howard is a businessman. You know, now he was a developer at one point, but I think he is now a businessman. And his goal is to attract people to, but he is running a business and he needs to sell things. And yeah. Something smells really fishy to me. I know he's talking about 2 big ass studios, but a first video really getting that much pull. Honestly, you know what? 90% of, from what I've read from a lot of YouTube creators and seen them talk about, is that like 90% of what gets you of like views is your title and thumbnail. To this day, it is still, if your title and your thumbnail is attractive in whatever way, it will pull views. That is all. You can have videos that absolutely are fucking amazing that they don't have a good thumbnail and they don't have a good title and no one sees them. His title here, simplistic. You know, it's got Bethesda thinks they're Rockstar, has Bethesda, big company, Rockstar, huge company. That right there is good. He does the little thing where he puts the Rockstar in the Bethesda Games logo with his like little stick figure. That's it. Like that's what it was, is that it fucking nailed it. You know, and like look at the Fallout one, didn't do as well. Obviously, like, you know, that was like a bit of a maybe like a lightning in a bottle, but like that 6 days 200,000, but his Bethesda Starfield problem, title Bethesda Starfield. He's got the slop field thing, and that one's doing much better in much shorter amount of time. Like, it's just title thumbnail. So people saw title thumbnail, and they went in, and they kind of had this on a second monitor while they nodded their head about, you know, oh yeah, Starfield, oh yeah, Bethesda, oh yeah, man, wow, Rockstar, Red Dead did sell more copies, wow, they made more money, and nobody ever, like, considered the fact, like, that the first third of his video is like just a bunch of comparisons of like time. Like, he's so obsessed with the amount of time it takes for games to come out. The next part of his video is like it's like the title, the part of the video that actually has to do with the title is like the shortest part, and is him just saying that these games didn't sell as much and they took the same amount of time, which, okay. And then he goes on to just sort of complain about talk about and complain about like Starfield, the Fallout TV show, I think 76 as well. So yeah, I don't know. It's like, good for him. You know, I appreciate there wasn't as many memes in the newest one. I'm kind of glad he's toned down the memes a little bit. Those were fucking annoying. But overall, man, not great. Not a great, like, I feel like so like lacking any sort of substance to back up anything he says in almost everything. In the first video, another thing is like a lot of like, and he got a little better with it. A lot of just like wrong numbers with things that you should really double check. And I'm guilty of it too. I made a mistake when I said that you could be 65 in Fallout 1. You can't. You can max it out at 35. I should have double checked that. And you should do the same, where you say like, when you said that, it's little things that like, it makes it look unprofessional. It makes it look like you're really rushing through it. He gets a little better with his performances and not like, but even then, like, you should do a double take, like another take. You should redo your takes. You should maybe rewrite your script. These videos are not that long, so it really shouldn't take you that long to do. It's not like your video is like 2 hours long and you have to do like a 30-minute part over again. You at most have to do like 2 minutes of a video that's 10 minutes long over again. You really should focus on that too. Like the fucking part where I admitted I was wrong. Someone commented, one of the first comments on the video was like, you messed up about the Fallout 1 ages, and I even said, yeah, I was wrong. I apologize. I'm sorry about that. and like getting like the dates wrong, like saying that the Elden Ring DLC released in the same year as the game when it came out, what, a year and a half, 2 years later, saying that the Outer Worlds 2 released in 2023 when it released only in October of last year. It's like, come on, you could have double checked that. Like, and it's crazy because that's his most popular video. It got 1 million. Like, it's like that one. And the part about the Fallout TV show was nuts. Like, him saying that they had no expectations actually was insane. Like, why would you think that? They spent so much money. Like, yeah, they spent all that. Oh, well, gee, whatever. Oh, I went over it already. It's just. Remember the dude just randomly doubled the assumed profit of Red Dead 2 and believes that Rockstar abandoned it because they didn't need to make money. Because they didn't need to make that money, they made it somewhere else. Yeah, that is also a bit of an assumption. Mistakes like that damage your credibility. I agree. Yeah, I agree. That's why, like, I'm gonna try to not make a fucking mistake like that. And if I do again in my next video, I'm gonna feel really dumb, and I'm gonna again keep trying to do better. But yeah, you do have to. The best you can do is that if someone points out, you cop to it and you say, yeah, I did make the mistake. You go, yes, I did make that mistake. Because it was one of those things, like, where, like I said, like, I made that mistake where I fucking, like, it was one of those things where I played Fallout 1 to get footage for that video, and I'm like, yeah, you can make your age like 65. I swear I remember doing that, and it could have been a mod. It could have been me just misremembering, you know, and I'm like, I was so sure that, and even though it would have taken me 2 minutes to check, I didn't, and that's dumb. But yeah, like, I saw these because I was curious about, I saw, like, this video here was one of the most ones that people went from this to my video to. And so I was curious to see what it was because I had seen it as well. I had seen it just in, like, my sidebar as, like, watch later over the past, like, week or so. And I was curious, and I watched the first couple minutes on my own, and I was really confused about, like, him listing all the years out of these games and being like, where is this going? And I was like, maybe we watch it. And that took a lot of hours. We're at 5 hours. Holy shit. Yeah, so that was that. That's his channel here, drawn out. Good name for a channel. Doing, like, sort of a little, like, zero punctuation-esque, very sort of minimalistic thing. And, yeah, good for him. He's doing well. I hope that what he actually puts into his videos gets better, because these weren't very good.